We got me. We got Jim Norton and Patrice O'Neal.
Good morning.
Got to rename the show for today, I guess.
Good morning.
OJP. OJP.
Nice.
I like that.
Wish I would have known you were in Boston yesterday. Me and Kenny took the train back yesterday afternoon. Could have hitched a ride back with you.
I drove you back. Took a nice, easy ride in my big tank. Going down 84, then 91 in the Merritt. Nice, quiet ride. Forced my girl to drive the last hour and a half. It was beautiful.
Your girl was with you. That means no rest stops for Patrice O'Neal this time around.
No rest stops.
With hey man.
And it was a rest stop kind of day too. I was tired, and I was trying to stay up, and she was, driving half in the other lane.
Really?
Oh, because she drives 10 and 2, but you really can't drive a tank 10 and 2.
No, you gotta kind of rock that.
Her dainty fingers, but she did a good job. We survived, but it was a good ride.
I can't let anybody drive. I can't let her. I freak out. I can't sleep in there unless it's Kenny, who I trust. But even Kenny's eyesight stinks, so I can't trust anybody else driving.
No, in a couple of times, I did knock out because I was just exhausted. But the only time I would sleep was when she started telling me stories, and that was she started sharing things, and she's really into music and stuff, and so she just loves how much she loves it. So when she loves something, because she barely loves anything, but she loves music. So she's talking, and I'm trying to stay up, and I just knocked right out. It was like a dream, and I would wake up, and we was almost home. And then a couple of times when she just she didn't understand how to negotiate how heavy the truck is and how fast she should be going behind somebody on the Merritt, because the Merritt is not a highway. It's
that thing is.
You've been on the Merritt, right?
Road.
It's just it's a scary road, but no trucks, and I like it.
No, it is terrifying because it's a lot of curves. You do a left curve into a right curve, then a deer pops out.
You did the Merritt, right? The Merritt's horrible.
And then the gas stations and stuff. You have to do an official NASCAR pit stop to get off these things.
Oh, it's right. It's the scariest road, but
then all of a sudden they give you maybe 10 feet to get up to speed because people are flying around curves and you got to get in front of them.
Oh, it's
when you're leaving the gas.
You ever been on the Merritt?
Statistically, if you drive on the Merritt every day for a week, you will die. It's an awful road. Yeah, it is. There's no lights on it. At night, it's terrible.
Oh, that's right.
Blackness and curving.
I forgot about that because it goes through all these rich neighborhoods. They don't want the lights. So it's pitch dark. The deer on the side of the road, they're feasting.
Oh, I drive with my high beams every time.
Oh yeah.
Are you that guy?
I'm an ass, and I don't turn them off for oncoming nothing. I'm just deal with it because I'm so afraid. What I'm afraid of on the Merritt is smashing into a reindeer, and it's like hitting another car.
Yeah,
like it's not like a thing where you hit an animal. Oh, poor animal. It can kill you.
Yeah.
Your airbags will come on if you hit one of those deer. And deer are dumb because they don't have any natural enemies, so they don't know anything is unsafe.
Right.
They're just stupid, so that's why they get hit all the time.
Isn't that they're not mesmerized by the lights? Like the lights don't.
No, they don't know that they're gonna die.
They're just trying to figure out what you are.
They're stupid.
That's how dumb they are.
That's the same thing those wildebeest. You ever seen a wildebeest get their head chewed off by an alligator and all the rest of them stand there and watch?
Yeah.
Because alligators aren't even their natural enemy. They don't even know that. They just go, okay, all right, this dude got his face chewed off.
Yeah.
But as a creature that is alive somehow, how do you not, when you're walking your whole life, you see nothing but other things with little bones on their head, and then you hear like a with lights? How do you not go, let me get out of the way? How do you look at that?
There's no natural nothing to it.
But it should be a natural thing at this point. How many deers have bit it? They should talk to each other. I mean, those big things coming at you 70 miles an hour with those two lights on it? Stay away from them.
There shouldn't be other crackheads once one saw what it did to the other one. You figure, how can it be brand new crackheads when, look at what happened to this dude?
You got to communicate.
At least the word's out about crack. We know crack's bad. There are new crack, but at least some of us don't do it. Deer, they don't care. They just walk right out and look at the cars. You suck. Aim for them if you see them.
Yeah.
So that was me driving back and talking to Stunt Brain all night about things. And,
half the show hung out in Boston over the weekend.
Yeah.
You ddid what? Comics Come Home?
Comics Come Home.
Was the lineup good? I used to love going to that thing. I haven't gone in a few years now.
They lowered the
expectations.
No, they lowered the number of comics.
Ah,
but it was still it was Anthony Clark, Brewer, Lenny Clark, Al Madrigal, who's he's in Jay Moore's TV show, and Tom Shalhoub, and Mike DiStefano.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's it.
And you and Leary.
Me and Leary, yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Leary's coming in tomorrow, I believe.
Okay.
But I used to like when they, taped the show and threw it on TV. Yeah. After the first couple of years, then they decided enough with that.
Yeah, and it's at that big, Aggenis Arena in BU. 6,000 people.
Oh, wow.
I liked it when it was at the Orpheum. I loved it then.
Yeah, it was a nice... The Orpheum's a great place for comedy.
Yeah, Regan was at the Orpheum Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I had no idea. There was a lot of comics up there this week. I had no idea anybody else was up there until I got there.
I'm surprised it was... and the Comics Come Home had a lot of people. They had about 6,000 people there. And I heard you were sold out.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Let's say hi to Bill in Boston. How are you, Bill?
Hey, good morning, boys. How you doing?
Pretty good, Bill.
Hey, Patrice. Hey, Jimmy, just want to say I caught your show Friday night in Boston. You killed, buddy. It was awesome again. Every time I've seen you, every time it gets better and better, my man.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
I was saying I got your book, met you afterwards. As always, you were a gentleman. Although you did call my girlfriend babe, but I decided to let it go.
I probably should. Oh, thank you, baby. But that's not. If I say thank you, baby, to a girl, she says something nice to me, I'm not hitting on her. It's like saying, hey.
I love how the guy goes, I decided to let it go. You have no idea how close you were to a beating, Jimmy.
But no, I'm sure I wasn't hitting on her.
No, he weren't, but we walked out and she was like, did you hear him call me babe? And I was like, did you see the look I gave him?
I didn't even notice. But that's like calling you bro or dude or hey, man,
No, I know. It was all good fun, Jimmy. I love you, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank
Bill,
you, man.
Thank you. Let's
buddy,
let's say hi to Maureen on Long Island. Maureen.
Yeah, hi, guys. Hi, Patrice.
Hello.
Love ya.
Thank you.
Jimmy, you ever go into Suffolk County, maybe F.H. Riley's, and do book signings, since we all know where that place is?
Sweet. Maureen, you rule. Free appetizer for you. Free appetizer.
I have not.
Don't you think that's a great idea?
I think it's
do.
A brilliant idea.
Definitely. Sounds like a guy doing a girl's voice. But yes, Maureen, I do think
I know.
I'm sorry. It's obviously a source.
Probably taking hormones or something, Jimmy. Jesus.
No, I'm not. Just early morning.
Yeah.
No, I've never done one at F.H. Riley's on New York Avenue, but I certainly would. I certainly would, because the cheesecake is good.
That's my sister's cheesecake.
I hear that, yes.
We're going to start a little business for her soon. All right, Maureen, thank you.
Okay, have a great day, guys.
You got it. Hey, Patrice, you were listening on the way in, the Brock Lesnar Couture fight.
Oh, geez.
Did you get to see it? I guess you were performing.
No, but they got these great sites now that you could just see everything.
Yep.
It's amazing. And
it's almost like, why would you? I hate to say it. Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you do the pay-per-view thing?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Especially with UFC, because not everyone is talking about it. So you could just you could avoid the results and then find it a little later on.
I just think people are right now. People are just getting. It's very like I said. I used to love it when it was your thing versus my thing. Like I've been taking karate for 10 years.
Right.
You've been taking kung fu for 15, and it's like blood sport.
Right.
Like, okay, let's do what you do and versus what I do. And when the Gracies started tying everybody up in knots because they didn't know what to do, everybody started to turn it into what it is now, which is a whole art form by itself, which is MMA. Which I don't like the fact that everybody does the same thing. I like the fact that some karate dude you can't even tell what they know. It's like he knows jujitsu, really. Yeah. They all know the same thing. Wrestlers and all that stuff. But Brock Lesnar, I'm telling you, I've been watching since he's been in it. The fight he lost, he was dominating that guy. I mean, he was dominating him.
Frank Mir, right?
Frank Mir. And he just knew what to do. Frank Mir, that's the thing about fighting these guys. If you're a regular dude, like we always used to joke, me and Keith used to joke about, okay, you think you can beat Mike Tyson if it was he punched your mama in the face, anger. You know, if you was like, you hit my mama, and you go, come on. No, because he's skilled. Your attitude can't. So these dudes, if you're skilled, no matter how angry and how much heart you got, you're going to lose.
Right.
Brock Lesnar just wasn't skilled enough to fight Frank Mir, but as a man, he was just, he was treating Frank Mir bad. Then the second fight that I saw him where he beat that guy, the Texas Madman or whatever, he's a legitimate guy. Keith Herron beat that guy, and he did something that scared me, that made me know he's a bad dude. He punched Keith Herron. Keith Herron rolled backwards like a ball, and Brock Lesnar was on top of him like a cat. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
Like with that hammer fist thing where they get you on the ground, they just bash your head into the floor.
Dude, it was scary. So when I heard that he was going to fight Randy Couture, and they come from the same, they're both all-American wrestlers. And, dude, I didn't think Randy could do it just because he's 44. I understand heart and soul, but he's 44 versus a 31-year-old machine.
See, I thought Couture had a good shot just because even though he is a lot older, a guy like that who has seen so many other guys, it's like you said, they always know something. And sometimes I figure he's just such a veteran.
What he knows is cheating. Like, what I know and what you know, he would know how to cheat. He would know how to gouge or something, but just skill against skill is nothing, because he's not a submission guy. Couture. He's a wrestler, and he grounds and pounds, and he might know how to choke you out, but he's not a submission dude. He's not a guy that can go, oh, okay, your wrist is showing, let me twist your hand off, let me take your, oh, he messed up, let me get his ear. Right. He's not one of those dudes, man. And Lesnar, dude, look at him, man.
He's an animal.
And it's legit. And like I said, you know, I'm a wrestling fan. I used to be a big wrestling fan, but I'm always curious to who the toughest guy in the world is in wrestling. And there's only a few guys where other wrestlers go, they were comfortable saying I was afraid of him. One of them is the Steiner brothers, like the Scott and Rick. People were scared of them.
Why? Because they would just give a little extra twist and stuff?
They were mean, and they loved pain, and they just knew how to fight. And if you played games with them, they would hurt you. And the other one is Buddy Holly, or Hardcore Holly.
Sure.
And the other one's Brock Lesnar. People legitimately did not want to make him an angry guy, man. He is a legit, his neck, a guy with a neck like that, right? And a guy who does that for what he does, and his ears aren't all chewed up, means people don't
get to him too often.
Get to him, man.
Yeah.
He's a scary dude.
Well, I think he's going to bring a ton of interest into the UFC now that he's champion.
Yeah, it's good for them. I mean, he's such a big name in wrestling.
I think it's gonna bring a lot from wrestling. I think some of these wrestling dudes are gonna be like, you know what, Brock Lesnar's now the champion. I gotta start checking out this sport.
And this helps wrestling because the fact that Brock Lesnar, who comes from this fake sport supposedly, is legitimately a tough dude. That means you go, okay, wrestlers are legitimately tough, right? And you might, and knowing Vince McMahon, he might make it, because years ago Vince McMahon did a stunt where he made the wrestlers fight each other in the ring, boxing, so to say, okay, who's really the toughest dude? Mm-hmm. And you know they had to go at it, and but the problem was some obscure dude would end up being the toughest guy out of all of them, but ultimately, dude, this is going to help wrestling. Because people are going to go, look, man, Brock Lesnar's a wrestler. He's not a soft dude. He's not a fake.
And they just showed the mirror.
I forgot it was the ankle twist.
Yeah, it was
he was going to break his freaking ankle.
He was dominating him, and then all of a sudden they're on the excuse me, Mir gets on the ground and then just goes for the ankle. And if there are certain things like these, to be submitted by these guys. It's like all of a sudden one guy is kicking the crap out of the other dude. Yeah. And then you'll see the guy who was winning all of a sudden just smacking his arm real quick. And it's because his wrist or his ankle is about to be broken off. You know, you have to tap.
We're looking at the highlights of that fight again, and the whole time he's trying to go for the ankle. Yep. He's just waiting for his opportunity. It's very obvious that he's just waiting to get that ankle in a hold, and he was going to break Brock Lesnar's leg.
Brock Lesnar is serious business, man. And I mean, quite frankly, and I'm a fan of Randy Couture, man. He's one of those dudes you just want to see do well. He's a nice guy, super nice guy. He just his energy and stuff. But I'd rather see Brock Lesnar fight Fedor.
Well, let's see who he fights next.
Than Couture.
Matt in Arizona knows. Matt, who's Lesnar fighting?
So if Jimmy could get to a fight at the end of the year, they're doing their big showdown with Nogueira versus Frank Mir for the other title, because there's going to have to be a unified fight, because Nogueira also has the heavyweight title as well.
Right.
So once that goes down, that fight, then it's going to be whoever wins that has to fight Lesnar to kind of unify that title when Couture had to take off for his Fedor quest that he took on. So that's going to be the big fight that's going to set it up.
So do you think that after that happens and they unify this title, that then if they can get Fedor, if they can even get him in, that he will fight the winner of that.
There's no way. I mean, Dana's put it out there. Fedor and everything else. I mean, it's a pipe dream to have that happen. To have, it does set up Lesnar now versus, Fedor in MMA, lore. But like that guy saying that Couture just kind of stepped out was, it wasn't really smart in a way, because nobody wants to see that fight now. Couture's just getting up his age. If Couture beat Lesnar, that would probably make that Fedor fight happen.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then now there's more interest, and they say Fedor's people are very difficult to deal with. But the bottom line is they want to make money.
Yeah.
And look, Affliction or what's the Elite XC?
Yeah.
WEC. Yeah.
Where's he going to fight?
Oh, the money will get to a point where, of course.
Yeah, well, he has to fight somewhere.
They'll be able to figure this out. All right, thank you, Matt. We're going to take a break. We're going to move on to other things. We've got Patrice O'Neal in studio today. Going to do a little Obama stuff today. We haven't talked to you since the election.
Yeah, but quite frankly, before you go, I'd just like to say,
Yep.
everywhere in the streets, out there asking me with serious concern, is Anthony
All right.
with disappointment and pain, with pain and suffering in their heart, and it's
He's really bothered.
it's quite
by this.
sad. He sounds like a raving lunatic.
I wish he was here today.
A raving
Because between you and him,
lunatic.
it'll be some great stuff.
And I feel bad. Because
Yeah.
people are, Patrice, is Anthony? Like, almost like, I know that radio is radio and it's entertainment and, boy, you got to push buttons, but it's almost like, dude, it's feeling real.
Yeah.
And I say it is. And then I walk away.
He's
The
just,
dirty racist.
Anthony's just scared.
Of what? But I just want to let you, that little part is that it's really.
I've gotten the same thing, actually, on the street, so. But it's,
Is everything okay?
He's, yeah.
And I go, ultimately.
This one bothered him a little bit.
Oh, it's
He's a bit bothered.
It's an irrational fear.
I have a little bit of, I have some there's sometimes I just want to call in the morning, but I don't want to step over that. I just I listen, but those phone things, I just want to look him in his eyes,
Yeah.
and embrace the energy of what is in his eyes when he's talking. I just want to see it before I really know. On the radio, he sounds like a complete ass. A complete ass, because I know how smart he is, and I know
He's
what
he's
this is
unraveling
gonna do.
a little bit.
He's
on this one.
unraveling. This is,
We'll get your thoughts on the whole thing after the break.
Okay.
And maybe we can wake up Anthony, or maybe he didn't go to bed yet. We'll get him before he goes to bed.
I'm sure they was hunting. They caught some homeless black man somewhere, and his family was hunting him down last night in the woods. I'm pretty sure.
So we got Patrice O'Neal. It's pro-Obama Day, finally.
Yes.
We get a word in today because Anthony is out. He'll be back tomorrow. He was celebrating his mommy's 25th anniversary.
Yep, that's what he said.
With Baltimore Sale.
See if there's any missing homeless black men.
So a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, get Patrice. We get to get the other side of the story. With this Obama
get
being
me why he's talking.
president-elect. Well, you could call it any time you want. You got that.
God damn
You got that power. You should have called in when he was ranting and raving.
I'm just taking it in just to see what his stance was. Beyond the anger, ultimately, it's nothing new to me. Something new to a lot of people, not to me. Not what he's saying, but just the attitude. I already know. White people are fake.
I'm
not Anthony.
I'm happy Obama's going to be the next president. Jimmy's very happy.
I'm happy I wanted him to win.
Well,
believe me, I'd tell you if I didn't.
Your mind is different, though. Anthony still, like I said, he still wants to attach himself. It's almost like that keeping it real thing. Anthony still wants to attach himself to the local schlub whose hands are busted up and the garbage men and he's not that guy anymore. He wants to be that, but he's a millionaire, and he's thinking. There's no way he can think. See, if it was about money, he wouldn't be that emotional. Money doesn't make you scream and holler about taxes and stuff. There's too many ways for people with money to hide money and do goofy things. This is emotional, and his emotion is touching dumb white people. That's what bothers me about it. It's just touching white people who aren't smart enough to know that the president can really do nothing to affect just one group. It is. You have to. It's very. Who affects is policies, law policies. Police can affect one group. Putting your hands on somebody. It's white cops. What are you going to do? Change the infrastructure of what racism is now? See, racism used to be, it used to be legislation-wise. You was able to be racist. See, here's the fear that Anthony has, and I heard it a couple of times with the uppity thing, is that here's some white people, I'm going to think as a white guy, and what would make me mad. You've never, as a white person, had to ever answer in this country to a black guy. On any way. It's almost like having a dog or a kid. Whatever your way of dealing with those people, your dog or dealing with that, is crate training better than rolling up a newspaper and hit him in the face. Some people roll a newspaper up, hit him in the face. Some people crate train their dog. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the dog doesn't get a choice. You're ultimately deciding whether that's the right way to do it or not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for this country, white people, when I say white, it's institutional white. It's not just, I don't look at any white dude particularly as my oppressor. It's this country. And white people just don't want to see, like even I heard a story the other day. I was listening to the replay coming over. The thing where he's upset is that there's some black people that all they got is to be proud of any black person that makes it through a system that they think has been holding them down. That was the OJ verdict. The OJ verdict had nothing to do with OJ. It was just, oh man, he beat that system. He was a black dude that had the resources to beat that. Woo! That was it. That's all it was. But white people don't want to see that happen. And ultimately, here's what I say about the race part. The thing is, this is the only people in this country who are defined by color is white and black. So, really, Obama is half African, who black people don't like, half white, who black people don't like. He doesn't have that generation of institutionalized anger, right? He had to be that special dude to win this. But the fact that his skin is what it is makes it the problem it is.
But it's also how he identifies himself. And one thing just to say, because you've touched on the race, it's that it's not just dumb white people. It's like, it's not just a matter of thinking like, oh my God, all black people are going to run the country. It's the fear that's happening with a lot of people. It's this irrational thing where it's a black face in a typically white office. And it's like, as irrational, like, they said a lot of black people are unhappy and can be disappointed because it's the first one. A lot of white people that are really disappointed and frightened are going to realize, oh, what was I worried about? It's working that way both ways. Like, a lot of black people are too excited because they think something is going to happen different that really isn't. And a lot of white people are depressed because they think something
But those people are in the same category. This is what I'm saying about how we all think. See, I'm not eliminating black people from the problem either. Because a lot of black people think that the black president is going to do something black for them. I've heard some of the goofy things, but those goofy black people are just as stupid as goofy white people who think that this is going to all this is really what this is to me. It just gives me the opportunity because I want the equality to me is when a black person, a mediocre black person, can be put into a spectacular position. Obama had to be almost Messiah-like, the lore of this guy. I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger is the governor of California. I'm just looking at his face. Mm-hmm. He is mediocre from head to toe. The spectacular thing that he is he was a spectacular weightlifter. He's not a spectacular guy. He's not a spectacular leader. His movies weren't spectacular. They were great in terms of entertainment, but he's really a mediocre guy. It's just like a black quarterback. Right now, there's enough black quarterbacks for me to go, please fire him. Mm-hmm. There's enough mediocre black coaches to go, please fire him. The coach from Pittsburgh is a spectacular young black coach, but Herm Edwards has to go. Removed from football in terms of head coaching.
What has he done, really?
Mediocre.
What is Herman?
Doesn't know. Romeo Crennel from Cleveland. Got to go. But that's what I want, is that the next black president can't be
but if they were the
all things.
Hold on, but if they were the only black coaches, then you wouldn't say they have to go?
Exactly.
That's where it
if
gets
it was
weird
just
for me.
one and that was it,
yeah.
then I'd be like, hey, he got to stay. because there's not any. But my thing is, it's all a symbol for me. Because I knew what I was watching the election with my girl. My girl got a white mama, and she stands up and she goes, yes, 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 right? And I'm like, wow, all right. And she's like, yeah, call me black now. I go, excuse me? Call me black. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You know, my girl's half black, half white. You know how half black, half white girls look. You know, got some white things and some black things. Mm-hmm. Black lips, white hair. You know? So she's like, yeah, if you're going to call him black, you call me black. I go, what? That shit, you look like Sarah Palin, right? So I'm joking with her.
Sarah Palin with a tan.
She walks in the room and wets her hair so it can get curly. And say, I don't have no white people here. I'm black. And if you're going to call him black, you got to call me black. Ah! She was crazy. So I'm sitting there going, this really means a lot to a lot of people. But immediately my mind is going, all right.
But can I stop? So she would downsize the black part of her?
No,
because she wanted to assimilate more into the white world?
No, she's upgrading.
Now she's upgrading the black side.
Part because
I get that, but
she hates the way she's black.
But before that, she would like make sure her hair is straight and all that to maybe fit in a little more in the white world.
Nah, I mean, look.
And now that Obama's president, she's like, man, I'm letting the black hang out now.
No.
All right, because I'm a little.
No, it's something that only she can understand. See what I'm saying? It's like something that I was teasing her, but the fact that when I said she went to wet her hair, the only thing that made that happen is that I said, wow, she's serious. She's dead serious that she went to go wet her hair to say, no, I'm not a white woman. I'm not this. I'm not that. It was something that only someone mixed race could. I still don't know what it was that made her deeply feel that way. But when I'm watching that, because I was sitting there going, all right, what's this next? What do white people want out of this one? That's the first thing I'm thinking. I said, one thing I know, white people don't give it nothing for free racially. It ain't happening.
But hold on, that's not completely the truth. I mean, maybe, again, there's certain institution, but this guy got a lot of white people voted for him.
Here's what we said. Look, first of all, it was almost split down the middle. What'd you say, 130 million people
voted? Sure.
It was almost even. It was every black person, almost every Latino person, almost every Jew, almost every minority, plus some white people.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
More than John Kerry got.
Who cares?
That's a lot, though. That's a lot. And it's Democrat, Republican,
and that was with compelling people were compelled emotionally to vote. John Kerry versus Bush, people just voted for what they voted for. This one was all-time spectacular.
You didn't get white Republicans crossing party lines. Like, white Republicans voted the way Republicans
exactly.
This
was
black
big.
Republicans and Spanish Republicans probably crossing party lines.
It was because it was bigger than parties.
Right.
But ultimately, it was 60 million everybody's versus 59 million white people. To me,
here's the breakdown.
It made no difference to me. It was exactly what this country is. It just so happened to be more of the other side voted for Obama. That's what it was to me at the time.
Yeah.
At the time. But then I had to realize, what is it going to take for me to think differently? And I realized this.
All right. More white people voted for McCain than Obama.
Really?
Yeah.
How about all?
No. According to this, Obama got 43% of the white vote, right?
Yeah.
This is how I'm reading this. Mm-hmm. McCain got 55% of the white vote. Okay.
And then who was left?
Then blacks, 95% of blacks voting went with Obama.
All right.
And about 4% for McCain.
Okay.
Latino, 67% went Obama.
Okay.
31% went McCain.
Okay.
Asian, 62% Obama. Mm-hmm. 35% McCain. And then the other was 31-31.
And by the way,
what was the other?
They're just saying other. Yeah, that's
dude.
Breaking down. Everybody else.
It was white. White people voted for McCain, and everybody else, and some white. Which is what I'm saying is the historical nature of this country, which is there'll be a few white people who do that side. Let's say that if all black people, all the minorities left this country. It would, and the 10 million or whatever white people that voted for Obama stayed here, it would be like how they treat the people in Iraq, the Sunnis, like they would be ostracized. Because it's going against the country.
But no, it's not as much as white people. You have to because you're like, how could I look at things differently? White people elected him as their president. White people. I know all the black vote, and all the Spanish vote, but he got a lot of white people. He didn't sneak in with 10% white vote. He got a massive amount of white people.
It has been the history of the country. Is that the same percentage of people who would vote? And again.
But, Patrice, you also got to understand that the white vote is 74% of total voters.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to look at things. You don't like looking at things differently. But this wasn't just a fluke that he got in. This was white people looked at this guy
it's a fluke.
And said, we want him to be our president.
I'm not saying it's the fluke, but see, that's the part of it I disagree.
But, I mean, going with Patrice's logic, even though the white vote was 74% of the total vote, like Obama really need the blacks, the Latinos, the Asians, and the others.
Democrats always
to come out and come out and vote.
Yeah,
I'm not.
It's always that way, Republican, Democrat. Don't forget,
right.
Always that way.
Absolutely.
Here's my issue: is not, it's like this is my thing. What I start thinking deeply about is payback, and the payback is this: people gonna want something out of this. And what white people going to want out of this is the end of racism, the end of black people talking about slavery and talking about race and talking about you look at where you've come, and that's the thing that this country doesn't understand. Even with Jeremiah Wright, why black people weren't upset with him is because we understand what that is. We live here. We make it, we do this and we do that, but we do it despite this country. And it's not you and it's not you, but you think of yourself as a white guy, Opie. You think of yourself as a white guy, Norton, but your family may have never had anything to do with slavery, ever. But the fact is what this country has set up, meaning you're going to feel white, your color oppresses my color. And wait a minute, black people have never, ever have found a way to forgive this country. That's the problem, and that's what's going to change this country is when black people are able to forgive. United States, there's no place to forgive.
But you can't look at something like white people only voted for him because they wanted to be the end of black complaining. I mean, to put it in a nutshell.
How would I ever know?
Maybe some white people. But you're not saying that any people are like, yeah, I like this guy. Symbolically, I like what it is. But I also think it's like you don't realize that white people, we're not. I'm not even just me and Opie white guys, but other white guys. We're not just a bunch of hayseeds running around going, "Well, we voted one in, everything's all right."
No, right. No. See, that's not. I'm not marginalizing people's minds like that.
Like people will look at this and go, "It's a step in the right. It's a positive."
Do you think there are men who work with women, right? As dudes, men who work every day in an office with a woman, right? Mm-hmm. And he just wants to squeeze her boob. Yeah. Or grab her boob. And the only thing stopping him, really, is
HR.
Can't do it.
HR.
Yeah.
Before HR, you got away with that. So that's a little pinch line.
Thank you. Okay.
And that's why the women in the office place, they now dress sexier because they know no one's going to touch them.
No one's going to touch them.
They're not buttoning up anymore because they got someone protecting them.
And
that cleavage is all flowing in the workplace.
A lot of white people, I'm not saying all or anything. I'm saying a lot of white people, racism, being a racist is the worst thing, the very worst thing that you can be accused of as a white person now. And so bad that, you know what? Even if I'm racist, I might vote for Obama just so I can make sure that if something comes down and I'm accused of being racist, that you can't call me that because I voted for Obama. Ultimately, dude, you got to understand, Norton, the relationship between black and white people in this country is based on your superiority mentally and over black people. And that has never changed. See, when the Jews was free from bondage, if the Jews story is biblical. Mm-hmm. If you watch the damn 10 Commandments, at the end of the day, the Pharaoh really wanted to kill him. He came down. He wanted to say, you know what? I freed him, but I'm going to go murder him. Rode down there with his chariots. The Red Sea opened up, washed them all away. He went back home and was like, hey, look. And his wife was like, did you kill him? He's like, look, his God is God. God freed the Jews. God, the how we live our lives is based on how the Jews were free. Basically, the 10 Commandments, most of us, that's the mantra of how we live our lives. It was a special story. They're the chosen people. It's closure. There's a villain, which is the Pharaoh in Egypt. There's a beginning, a middle, there's an end. It's over. They don't have to continue to hate vagueness. How we were freed, it was paperwork. If you read the Emancipation Proclamation, which is the document that freed the slaves, it's nothing but making black people go to war. And in the third paragraph, it's like, hey, go report to something.
Yeah, but
in that war.
I get it. We've talked about it many, many times. So how do we solve this? Because I'll tell you this
There's
much.
no way for white people to solve it. That's what an arrogant statement right there.
No, but I'll tell you something, because like the average white person doesn't think of the slavery thing like you guys do.
Of course you don't.
And I know, and as a white person, I can tell you, I just worry about my own struggles. I can give a crap
but here's
about
why it's easy
your
for
struggles
you to
or
do
anybody
that.
else, because I had it tough growing up. My struggles were against the system. It wasn't a color. And as I continue to be very successful in my life, I have a lot of people in my family that are still struggling. And that's what I focus my attentions on. If I could give a crap about the slave thing.
Of course. If I punch you in your face every day.
Right.
And then I just stop.
But that's why I don't know how this ever works itself out.
I'm going to tell you how it works itself out.
Because we got our own struggles. I can't be bothered with worrying about...
It's easy for you...
making that slave thing completely go away.
It's easy for your skin color to move on.
But it's not easy. I got brothers that are still struggling because of the system, not because of slavery or anything.
You're talking about personal experience.
Well, that's what we all look
But
at.
this is bigger than personal experience.
Well, you're not going to get Whitey's help on that.
So
how do we figure this out?
This is why you're not. This is what I'm saying. White people's idea that they're going to figure this out is the ultimate arrogance of it, is that I'm doing my part to help. The only way...
we don't even think that way.
The only way that black people are going to really move on is to find closure for ourselves.
Right.
Because we're not going to get it from white people.
So again, how do we get to that point?
I don't know how. See, my thing is, again, personal experience. You're my friend, you're my friend. It's like, but I dislike white people. But I don't see you as a white dude. You're Norton. But I'm talking about what this country does and what your skin color is in this country. And the thing, and I can't, nobody black is going to relate to, hey man, the system is like, yeah, what, taxes or something else or something. I'm talking about oppression. I'm talking about a country who did something to a people who never, ever said that this is wrong. Now, I live with the legacy of the skin, and you live with the legacy of the skin, and it's still that way. We have never mentally, for the color, never mentally been moved on.
But this country hasn't moved on. The country has said it was wrong. More than symbolically, the way things have changed in the last X amount of years. I'm not saying that erases anything.
What, we get stuff? Black presidents?
Yeah, but it's not that, man. It's not that. It's the way people look at things. It's the interactions people have. You can't write it off as just, like, you painted it like all of a sudden, like, all white people still think the same way.
No.
And nothing has changed.
No.
What
has changed? Norton, what changed?
At it like everything... perceptions, the way people interact, people's desire just to live with each other and not have any of this crap that was going on for all these years. That has changed a lot, and it hasn't been force-fed. You can't just say that everybody who is pro-Obama or who is pro all this stuff are being force-fed and reluctant or looking at black people in a negative way. It's just not true.
Let me ask you this. Do
you agree it's getting better?
Do I agree it's getting better?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you why.
We did a show on Friday. We're moving on from that, but we learned that, like, in your lifetime, you're in your early 40s or so, or getting there, right? So blacks went from not voting to having the first black president in your lifetime. I'm just asking.
But I'm saying, do you understand?
The slave thing's not even on my radar.
But do you understand that
I got my own issues.
We understand
things I worry about for me and my
everybody
family.
have their own personal issues.
Right.
And black don't. And here's the thing that it's like that black people haven't moved on. We haven't moved on. We have moved on. It's the fact is that to really end it, we need closure mentally, because
this summer the Congress did apologize formally for slavery.
But you said
it doesn't mean anything. Do you understand?
Is it a start?
It's not a start.
No,
because a bunch of white guys who decide this was bad. It goes. This is what I'm saying, that you can do nothing about it, because we have to go back in time to where the wrongness happened. To where, like, the wrong. See, ultimately, dude, there's a feeling that black people have that's not going to be changed by apologies or money or anything. It's a forgiveness that we don't have for the country, that white people can say, hey, man, I got my problems. We know, because that's human problems, issues. Your mama's sick, your feet hurt. We understand. I'm talking about as a people that this country has done nothing but wrong. And the people, I think in 1950, if there was a black candidate, he might have still won. If in 1950, the Klan wasn't allowed to just beat somebody's ass at the voting booth, I think there have been enough people to vote a black president in then. I don't think, my thing is the inside, how people feel. I don't care about the trinkets of just, here you go, here's a president, here's this. Doesn't that see the change? Look how far you've come. What?
But it's not just that. It's not just that. That's the point I'm making. That if that was the way everybody thought, you'd be right. But everybody is not looking at it like, here you are, child, take this. You don't want white paternalism.
I'm generalizing.
You don't want white paternalism, and fair enough. Nobody would want that. It's insulting. But that's not the way it is for all people. And that's what I'm saying. You can't look at it like everyone is just looking at it like, well, here's your little gift. Slavery's over. Pat on the head. Take care, Godspeed. Yeah. That's not the way all people are looking at it.
We're not. Again, I'm gonna say this one more time. It's not all people. This is what I'm saying, dude. The arrogance that white people put themselves, anytime the word white is said, that you would put yourself in a category to understand. See how you understand the white point of view, Norton?
Sure,
that, hey, this is not what we all, this is, you gotta understand there's a new kind of racism, man. It's lying. This is why I appreciate Anthony.
You can't say white and expect other white people to not react any more than if some people say black, you're going to react. You can't paint it like where black people can react one way to the whole country and it can all feel the same thing because of their skin color, and yet you can criticize white people and of course white people are going to get reacted.
But the color that we're talking about is the same color that messes with your family when you say you have your problems and you're worried about your family and things. That's the white that black people are talking about. That's why black people are closer to having this racial thing than white people, because we live in a country, Norton, okay, where really we've never felt like anything's changed. Even though, okay, you're allowed to do this, it's insulting.
But it's a generational thing. It's like we're living it, and I said this to Anthony too. In hindsight, this is going to be a blip on the radar. Like, oh yeah, that's when things were all of a sudden different. But in a real generational life, like we're living it real time. So it's not going to be finished in our lifetimes. But we're living it real time. It is happening relatively quickly. When you look where something happened, if you're living in the 40-year period, you're like, who cares? Now I'm allowed to do this.
Where's the internal change of all this? The internal,
I'm not sure what you mean.
The difference in your life, the difference that makes you go, damn, this was foul, and move on. See, it's easy to move on when you're white. It's not easy to move on when you feel the same way in this country. And now the covertness of it is hard you can't prove it. Before, all we could do was relate to lynching, dogs, hoses, and George Wallace. Now it's who, me? I don't know. So basically what we have left, like I said, Jews had Hitler and his mustache and his friends. We have white.
Color. I know, you got a color. I understand
white.
That. Well,
that's it.
All right, well, come up with the solution then.
There's the one.
That's what I asked you today.
It's generational. It's not going to happen now. It's again, 500 years from now, people look back. They'll go, oh yeah, in 2000, they'll probably just call 2000. All of a sudden, 2000, they got a black president, and all, things will be different because you'll have a 50 or 100-year span to look at it. In real time, when you're living something, it seems like it's slow and nothing is happening.
What is it? Longer than 2000.
That's a pretty good point Jimmy's making, by the way.
Longer than 2,000 years was Moses, because Jesus was 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that was the Moses, was the Old Testament.
We got a break. We'll
go to break. We'll continue. The phones are lit. You got them reacting today, Patrice. So we'll continue with this discussion just a bit. 877-212-0-8. You're not going to get in now, but maybe a little later if you want to add to this. Opie and Anthony. Today, we got the black version of Anthony in studio today. Holy yes. Got to acknowledge that. Wow. I, for one, I'm very excited Obama's the president, just because I think he's the right man for the job.
All right.
Simple as that. And we've discussed the black-white thing, and I'm sitting here really thinking about it. And I don't know what you could say to make me understand, because I just didn't. I didn't live this. I don't know anybody that.
Let me ask this to the ladies.
Yeah.
If there was a woman president, right? If there was a woman president, and all women would just be proud to see that. As a woman, there's no way you couldn't be proud. Now, as a dude, I dismiss women. Shut up. But let's say you ask a woman, what's this mean to you? And where have you come now? A woman will go, this is a start. This is definitely a start in the right direction, but there's a lot of things.
Kind of like Jackie Robinson was
Jackie Robinson. And then I say to a woman, I go, what? A start? It's done. Shut up. Abortion? I don't want to hear about it no more.
You think the black president, a lot of white people are going to look at it like, all right, even Steven.
Now what?
Yeah.
What else can you people complain about?
If they do, so what?
What else?
But so what if they do that?
What? That's what I mean. Ultimately,
I don't like your wife.
No kidding, man.
I bend over backwards.
Do you really think Whitey has it easy in this country? I know
Opie,
you.
You don't understand what I'm saying because you're saying that to me.
But I know, yeah, exactly. Because I know you think Whitey has it a lot easier. I know that being white probably makes it easier in this country. I'm not stupid, but it's still effing hard for us too.
Okay, but at least you're not me.
That's why I'll never understand this, because I know the struggles that I'll say it again, that I have, my family has. I got people in my family working 2 jobs trying to pay bills. That's all they care about.
Let's go back to.
They don't give a crap what you or your people, sorry to say it like that, have been through.
Let's go back.
Our own problems.
Let's go back to where white people in this country were different from each other. What was that about, Stonebrain? 1901? Yeah. When there was WAPs, mix, this, that, third, that, blah, blah.
Sure.
Ultimately, you would have understood then.
But I'm not living then.
But see, this is what I'm saying.
Now. I'm in the here and now.
But because you're not in the here and now. See, this is the thing. White people erase historical value from this country, and it's about moving on. Nobody says to a Jew,
it's not
the Holocaust.
But Patrice,
get over it.
But I'm really trying to simplify this. It's not about
It's not simplified.
It's our day-to-day struggle and I mean for me and my family and close friends. That's what I care. That's my world.
Because
I can't be bothered and worry about what slavery has done to you.
Are you Irish? You're Irish, right?
I'm a mutt. Seriously, I'm everything.
Let's say if your blood was Irish, if you was purebred Irish, and it didn't go into the direction of color where Irish people kind of feel superior, Polish people feel superior, based on the color. Historically, man, the color is the issue. Obama is not a black dude. He ain't a black dude. He's black by his skin color. Do you understand what this country is? It's based on color, and it's not going to change. As a white guy, you deal with things that people deal with.
What do you mean he's not a black dude, though? I'm not sure what you mean.
He's not.
Well, he's not like Flavor Flav.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I watched D.L. Hewley's show.
He's not like a Flavor Flav. He's like.
That's like saying John Kerry's not white because he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's not the same. I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you something. Black Africans, right? I watched D.L. Hewley's show on CNN. And he interviewed these Africans from Kenya. And Africans, you should have seen this interview. I got so mad because they took credit. See, Africa does not associate themselves with black America. They go, he is the first generation Kenyan. What are you, D.L. Hughley? Wouldn't even pronounce the name right. Africans make me sick. D.L. Hughley.
I didn't even know this was going on.
Yeah, exactly, because you're white.
That's fine.
And you don't need to know.
How would we
I
know?
don't need to know.
Africans don't tell us anything. How do we know?
So,
how many Africans do I know?
Mr. Hughley, you are here 70 generations, and look at what you did. Nothing. And look at, we import.
Don't tell me to wait.
We export presidents to your country. Africans embrace this as him. He's not meaning this. Jesse Jackson's son would be the black president. Now, Obama's the black president because of skin, not because of historic value. And wow, this dude is black. And I don't mean he's black like he don't have rhythm or something. The dude is half white, half African.
He's seen. Again, it's all perception. He lives as a black male.
Thank you.
He's seen as a black male.
We're saying the same thing.
I know. But I'm saying is, you're looking at the internal stuff, but he is seen as a black man in this country's eyes, and this country said he's a black. They're not looking at it like Jesse Jackson's son.
Right.
Well, he's blacker or more black American. He's half the country looked at a black guy with the name Barack Obama and said, we like this guy.
Don't forget the Hussein part.
But you know what I mean? It was like, we like this guy. We want him to be our president. And I know that sounds cheesy. I'm not saying it erases everything, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But that's what my problem is. I guess I'm being utopian about it. Is what it is to me is very scary. Because ultimately, the only thing that can keep slavery from happening again, I was talking to my mother like, hey, Mom, what if the country just decided to go, hey, look, we don't have enough money. We need free labor. Sorry, black folks, we got to reinstitute slavery. Now, ultimately, hypothetically, that's ridiculous.
Of course it is.
But why is it? Based on what is that ridiculous? Other than, it's not going to happen. But if they needed free labor to build this country up again in terms of for its money, and they said, black people, we have to reinstitute slavery.
Ridiculous.
What would happen? It's ridiculous based on the idea that it's ridiculous.
What are we going to do with all the Mexicans then?
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's what
Sorry,
I mean.
Mexicans.
We have to do. We have to joke that.
I'll tell you why it's ridiculous.
We have to.
No, I'll tell you why it's ridiculous. Because the world's a different place. Information is passed.
Is that why it's ridiculous? Because the world, think the world's
meaning
different?
Slavery, let's be honest, when it happened, was happening all over the world. It was happening, it was accepted all over the world. It does happen maybe in Sudan in certain places. It's not an acceptable practice in the world now.
Now, the word you said is acceptable, Jim. See,
Yes.
This is what I mean. This is my thing.
Well, everything is whether it's acceptable or unacceptable.
It's acceptable behavior. You could beat your kids. When I was growing up, your parents could beat the dog doo-doo out of their kids. That was acceptable. Why did they stop? Some parents still want to beat the dog doo-doo, throw their kids through a window. And they stop because beating your kids is done socially. But my thing is, I would love it to feel done. I don't want somebody to think that by the graces of, like, I'm lucky you, by the graces of not God or the graces of not anything bigger than a group feeling like they're giving other things to another group, do I want that
That's
change?
always the way it will be numerically then. You can't, you're putting it to a no-win situation because the bottom line is, unless there are an even number of people in a country, if you want to look at it like that, that means any time in any country that the smaller group is not enslaved by the larger group, that it's simply a bunch of bullcrap and they're being polite. It doesn't make sense that way. That's not the reality. That doesn't say that the world is a different place.
Like, I know women are happy that guys don't run around like caveman days and just hit them on top of the head and drag them with their hair. But I think...
I think that could come back someday?
Dude, this is my analogy that... Because my girl called me a black supremacist, like, when we was watching. She was like, you're just the same as the rest of them. She's
like, going to be talking to her at the wedding.
You're a black supremacist. But I thought it took her understanding as a woman to get it. It's like this. If you come in the house, right, and you beat your wife, punch her in the face every day.
Yeah.
And she stands there, right, and that's the part of life. You can beat her ass and there's nothing she can say. One day you come in and you don't punch her. She don't say nothing. She's just not getting punched. She's like, whew. Then a month goes by, you just stop punching her. Then one day you come in with flowers. You give her flowers. And then she goes, you have a moment, you go, She goes, why did you stop punching me? And you go, a lot of my friends was getting arrested for punching their wives, so I didn't want to get arrested. I just didn't punch you in your face no more. And she goes, what? Wait a minute. The only reason you stop punching me is because you might get in trouble for doing it. And ultimately, I know you're not getting punched, but the idea that someone's not, it's not a heartfelt thing. And
but
then
that's how most people stop doing.
That's the original stop. That's the original stop. And then 20 years later, if husbands all over are still not punching their wives, the wives can't go, you're only not hitting me so you don't go to jail, because it goes beyond that, where it's like all husbands
but you know what?
You're not supposed to do that.
Here's the point. It's still at the mercy of social acceptance.
Numerically, it will always be that then. Then you put it into a situation where no one can win, because that's a numerical game.
And that's why I'm saying white people have no way to help. It's only, and I don't know the answer because I want to forgive. And what I mean by forgive is when a white dude says, hey, man, hey, you're really articulate, or you're smart. I want to go, thanks, dude. But in me, I go, what do you validate my intelligence, cracker? I'm better than you.
You didn't think that you didn't think Obama was going to win. You thought he had no shot.
No shot.
And then all of a sudden
until I start reading.
And then you start, okay.
I remember the call. You're like, I think this guy has a real shot.
Because of the electoral vote. Now, I'm very happy. He won the popular.
Yes.
Because if he didn't win the popular and he won the electorate, like I said, white people, when the answers, you think you got the answers, we'll change the questions. They would have changed the electoral vote.
But that didn't happen. What happened was he got the majority. He got a good majority of the vote.
Thank God.
But he did. And he got the electoral. It was a completely legitimate. It was it was a pretty overwhelming compared to where the elections have gone. McCain even said in his concession, he said, and the country has spoken, they've spoken clearly. I mean, it was a beating.
That is what, see, how I felt at McCain, watching McCain's acceptance speech.
He was great.
I mean, concession speech.
McCain was great with that.
How I felt was what it'll take for me to forget, is like to see somebody that, a white guy, old white man, just something about him just felt like he wanted to go, I'm sorry. It looked like he wanted to go, look, man, I knew he was better going in. I would have voted for him if I didn't have to go through this nonsense of being Mr. Old White Man. This guy is better. And you know it, and I know it. Boo!
But that's typical politics. Like, that
wasn't a typical political speech.
No. But the booing, they always do that.
Oh, yeah.
They don't always boo.
When you mention the opponent in the concession speech?
What?
No, they always.
Every concession speech.
It's always the guy like,
everyone.
My opponent ran a better campaign. Boo! Go back in history.
Everyone, dude.
Every time we elect a new president,
I'm going to go with you guys on this. This is what I'm saying to bring it to what I want to feel. I don't want to feel like they booed the black guy racially.
They didn't boo the black guy.
But do you understand?
They were booing that. They were booing that their
feelings.
They were booing that their guy they worked so hard for is not going to be the president.
And
they believe in him and his policy.
I'm telling you, they do it with every election.
That's what you say.
Every election.
Your paranoia, I don't understand.
Wait. It's paranoia. You dismiss it paranoia. Fair enough.
Hold on.
That bullying is.
Just because I'm paranoid don't mean somebody ain't trying to kill me.
You're right, but that
Patrice, let me tell you something. You're paranoia, and I don't understand because I don't live your life. I so don't see it that way. Don't see it that way.
But do you understand? You see it that way, and I don't, and I see it differently.
That's why
I want to see it differently. That's my whole thing.
To me, it was so obvious they were booing because their man did not win.
They booed McCain when Obama mentioned him. They do that.
You white. This country. Let me stop saying white.
No, forget what black and white.
This country dismisses black people's feelings as paranoia.
But just because white people dismiss black people's feelings of paranoia,
find out if
it doesn't mean that they never are.
The same thing I do.
It doesn't mean that they never are. They boo every concession speech.
Right.
Everyone.
Hold on. Let me jump in.
They boo the other guy.
You're 100% right by me saying you're paranoid by saying that. You're 100% right. I said it the wrong way, but I'm just saying, like, I saw it one way, you saw it another way.
But to not see that booing,
to say that you're paranoid over that, you know what? Maybe that is going a little too far.
Can we go to the OJ verdict? What did you? Real quick. What did you feel, Norton? What did you feel was going on with black people when that verdict was read we was running?
I thought they were insane.
Originally,
because it was 1994. You're talking 14 years ago. I personally have gotten more knowledge and understand things a little better. But in '94, I'm like, they're cheering them. I did not understand
and
on any level where that was coming
all
from.
did it at the same time. It was like, no one got a cell phone call to cheer right now.
In the moment you look at it, you're asking what I thought about it. In the moment you look at it, like, I was actually shocked how naive I was. I was shocked that he was acquitted. But when you look at it, like, all right, black people are all cheering for this. Internally, you know, there's not a bunch of people cheering that a lady got her throat cut. It's like, that didn't make any kind of sense because the reaction was too immediate. And it was too 100% and 100% this way. And then you realize, like, you know, as you get over the shock of the acquittal, because it really was a case where the guy was obviously guilty. All right, well, they're cheering. I figured they were cheering for Cochran more than anything. And the fact that a guy like Cochran out-slicked, like almost like this is what it feels like. Like, do you get it now? This is what it feels like for it to be so obvious and still go wrong.
Wait, you really thought they were cheering for Cochran back then?
Not in the moment. I didn't. When it was first happening, it was an anger or it was a shock, because I really was shocked that he was acquitted. Again, we've never had a trial that we all watched day to day like this.
Right.
This, you know, no one's ever seen a murder trial unfold so completely on television like a soap opera. So we all kind of knew what happened. And then for it to go the other way, I wasn't thinking like, well, racially. And then as time went on, I was like, that's what it was.
I was so confused.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
I was so confused by that. I was like, what? It made me try to get more knowledge. Because I was like, I didn't understand it in the slightest why they were cheering. Did not understand
what you guys, now, education makes you able to think and be logical. Sometimes reading doesn't help you be logical. I don't like people who read. Like, some people think because they read something and they recite what they read back to you that makes them wonderfully intelligent.
Right.
I like people who think. So you got your intelligence and then you went and thought about it.
I tried, yeah. Because obviously what was going on that I was naive to, that the black man was being screwed over in the judicial system. I had no idea.
How can white people not?
I had no idea.
This is how.
In '94, I had no effing idea that was going on.
This is how wonderfully lucky this country is.
Because guess what? I read a bunch of articles after that. I went, wow, all right, this is where this is coming from. I'm not sure if I, like, agreed, but I'm like, okay, at least I have more knowledge on why the reaction was such.
Can you believe, like, Anthony, I heard him talk about, he the president now, right? I heard that one. And I'm like,
we laughed at him for that.
It's hilarious.
Because I mean, Jimmy and I live in New York. I have to say it again. You know, some of the hardcores will kill me on this one, but I am not seeing what Anthony is.
Why would any white person?
I'm just not seeing it.
Understanding the history, which means a lot of white people don't need to know the history of this country. Don't need to know. So why would any white person who didn't know any history not have you have to read books and learn about the history of this country to say, you know what? Damn, all they're doing is saying Obama now for what this country did. That's all they're doing. They can't have that one.
I don't want to get
white people. Your record is 1,000,000.
But I don't want to get away from the fact that you were talking about the booing, because as much as what you're saying, a lot of what you're saying is very correct, and I know it's correct. But that is like when you're looking at something that way and you're going into that extreme of it. You are looking at it wrong.
And exactly that, but I'm admitting it, Norton. I want to be see, there's been enough black mayors who've done some really ridiculous things. Kwame, the one in Newark, Sharp James, Marion Barry smoking crack. There's been some black mayors who've done enough things to where if a white mayor's running against a black guy, I go, hey. It just has to be enough black people doing enough things for me to give white people the benefit of the doubt. Well, and it's hard to do.
Well, that's what I was saying the other day. We were talking about this, and the bottom line is presidential elections are once every 4 years. It's going to be a historical view. It's not going to happen in any lifetime.
Yeah,
say 200 years from now when they look at a 100-year block of time. We have 25 more elections after this Obama election. Let's just say of the 25 elected presidents, 6 are black, 19 are white.
Well, let's be.
Or 5 and 20, however you want to look at it.
What, 5 out of 20 will be black presidents?
Let's say over the next 100 years.
Hell no.
Here's what 100 years is going to be. One of these things is not like the other.
In 100 years, you're wrong. There's going to be a Jewish. Of course there will be.
A Jewish president?
In 100 years, the way the global economy is all becoming one.
This world hating Jews. They hate Jews. for 10,000 years.
I understand that, but look at the high level guys like Bloomberg and guys like Lieberman. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And once it happens once, like you said, it's not as big a deal anymore. In 100 years, will they look back and say that there were 4 or 5 black presidents in a 100-year period from this point?
No.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You think there'll be 5 presidents in 5 black presidents in 100 years?
Out of 25 elections?
Are you out your mind, Norton?
Why not?
Why
Patrice?
not?
It's not going to happen.
Why not? If Obama is a good president, and it just becomes, would you have thought that way? There was going to be X amount of black mayors, or X amount of, like you said, the first one, X amount of black players, or X amount of black anything. Once it happens once, like you said, the first one's symbolic.
Yeah, then
it just becomes something that is a part of the country.
All right, fair enough. I wish I could be a vampire to know. I really wish I
But
could.
that's not even being that positive. Saying 5 elections, or you want to go 4, out of the next 100 years.
I think the possibility is right there, man. It's not a crazy thought, Patrice.
At all.
Dude, this is again, I'm going to say to you guys, this is why I exhume you from responsibility. I really want to feel that way. I can think that way, and I can agree with logic, but I'm in the middle of being a reasonable, logical person and feeling how I feel.
All right.
And I'm telling you how you feel.
He says 5 presidents in the next 100 years will be black. How many do you think?
None.
We're going to go 100 years without another black president?
I'm going to tell you why, because here's my theory on what the racial problem is going to be. This is what my problem is with this. One, I'm telling you, there's an internal healing that has to happen. There has to be some internal stoppage to this. External things, it doesn't. See, here's the thing. I don't think, like, sports is different. Sports, you go, hey, man, that N-word can run fast, and we need somebody who can run fast on the team. Hey, man, this, that, and the third. But in terms of, okay, this black man is the best to run this country right now, that would have to say that internally that this country will change in 100 years. I don't think it to be so.
You also didn't think Obama was going to win.
No, not until the day before.
And now that he has won, you're still finding reasons as to why it's like.
Do you understand? I have to stop you every time there's an arrogant white statement, and I'm not. Let me finish this. Without maliciousness, that is an arrogant statement that I'm still finding reasons you are dismissing.
No, I'm not. You're jumping on the first part of the sentence I used, meaning you're still finding reasons as to why it's all negative. But
you really do that, Patrice.
You rigged the game in your own mind, Patrice. You've rigged the game in your own mind. Well, first, the guy's not going to win. He can't win.
Right.
And then he wins, and you have no change of thought whatsoever. It's almost like, okay, but at least that's not an arrogant statement.
You know what made me think he had a chance to win? Is the last-ditch effort. Barack Hussein Obama running for president.
Right.
Black dude. Father left his home.
Right.
Smoked, did coke, the whole thing. The last-ditch effort the day before, what made me believe is that white people or the Republicans thought he was going to win because his last-ditch effort was his poor black auntie in Boston. I said, this dude is going to win.
The Republicans,
because they got.
They knew he was going to win.
That
I think the Republicans all along were worried he was going to win. I think that's why they put a 72-year-old guy instead of one of the young future of the Republican parties against him. I think they knew he was virtually.
They didn't want to lower someone's stock.
Yeah, like a guy like Mitt Romney, which is somebody who's like more stock.
I think politically they realize it's time. There's going to be a black president.
McCain and that moron from Alaska, that's who they throw out there.
Right.
I think they knew that he was virtually unbeatable, and he would only damage any young, great Republican.
But when you say he threw him out there, that means, but he had to be voted to be the representative of the Republicans.
No, but I still think the Republicans understood on some level that this guy, and again, I don't think anybody said, look, he's unbeatable, but I think everybody looked at Obama.
You think psychologically that some of this stuff's going on? I believe so.
I think everybody looked at this guy and just saw what he was and saw this JFK vibe he had to him and know this guy is going to be, because he has no record. Well, yeah, that hurts him because he's inexperienced, but it also hurts him because there's very little to attack. Like, if you're going to run one of your young, really hot Republicans, give them 4 years, and then at least you have a record you can go after. There's no record. All you're going after now is Obama as this iconic figure, which he was before he... And I think they intuitively understood that. I really do. He seemed like an unbeatable guy.
Look, these phones are they're just chomping. And
we got to get a break.
We just can't get to them, which is... We'll try after the break. You all right?
What?
You all right?
What'd you call me?
I said, you all right?
Oh, I thought he called me. Oh, my bad.
No, it's just
Are you crazy?
It's only what everybody's thinking.
I'm messing with you. I'm still a comedian.
I would never do it to your face. What's wrong with you? What do you think? I'm stupid? I might be naive about black culture, but I know when to say it and when not to.
I was ready to call him Patrice the mind reader.
Opie and Anthony. For the record, I invited Patrice to my wedding, so...
I should be arriving about 3:30.
I'm going to give you your own table, though. I might give you a table with my Uncle Tom.
Oh, Jesus.
I really do have an Uncle Tom, so...
I'm getting a new tent just to drive into Philly that day.
Nice.
You know the thing is,
Opie and Anthony, by the way, Jim Norton.
Discussion.
Yeah.
And so people don't understand how many black people and white people get along, like in Las Vegas. Like, there's a comedy festival, right? I happen to be doing a show.
Jimmy, not now!
Well, it's important. It's about race. Next Friday at 7 o'clock, I'm doing the comedy festival, Caesar's Palace. It's not about that or my AC dates in January. You want to go see me in Atlantic City? Go ahead! But it's about racial healing, and that's what I'm trying to talk about, not me.
Oh, my God. The phones are lit. So... I think Patrice is hoping for something that just obviously isn't going to happen in your lifetime.
Not from white people.
Because we were talking about it during the break, but...
nothing you can do. Just stay what you are, white
We've come a long way.
Remember I told you about Geraldo and what they would have? It would. That's what I wanted to say and I forgot.
Yeah.
It's like we all realize that there's race and racial problems and racial issues in this country, but the only people who ever say and admit that they have racial feelings is black people. I can't find an intelligent white person who admits to being racist.
I agree.
So when I watch Geraldo, it would always be, remember back in the day Geraldo had his show, it would always be a frothing at the mouth cracker versus Dr. Leroy Smith, the head of psychology at Negro University, discussing race with a guy that goes, you know what? You know why we're better than you? Because you get sickle cell anemia. And we don't.
Not just a smart white guy who is like, a regular person who will go, black people. I agree with you. Yet you annoy me sometimes.
Yeah,
I agree.
just there's no gray area white person where it's like, it's either you're a crazed lunatic or I don't see color.
I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. It sickens me.
Liars. That's what the problem is. Black people got over it quite well. We're getting over it despite everything. We're doing quite fine.
Let me ask you something, Patrice. You got 2 Obama supporters in studio today.
All right.
Why do you think we support Obama?
I don't know. Tell me.
No, but he's asking your opinion.
Why do I think you support Obama? Because you're rational and you're... And education.
Because I feel guilty.
No, I don't think you feel guilty. You know why? Again, we're talking. It's just like the money we might make in this business when you explain it to somebody who works hard. And if you complain and go, oh, man, I made this much last week, and you complain, the average square is going to go, I'll kill you if you complain about that kind of money. But it's the same thing with what we do. We're honest for a living, Opie. We attach ourselves mentally to our feelings. A lot of people don't have the ability to attach rationale and reason to their feelings. And that's what makes them what they are. I'm trying to be logical along with how I feel. That's how I'm able to function. If I was only emotional, there'd be problems. Real problems. Worse problems than I have now. So why I think you and Norton did is because you try to live as honest as you can. And so for you to lie about how you might feel about Obama means you'll lie about anything, and your whole stilo is not to lie. But look at what you do for a living every day for 5 hours. You're trying to be honest about things. So you're not setting yourself up to be a hypocrite, and you're not political. That's why I think you two voted for him. And I'm not saying that every other white person voted for him for something different, but I'm saying when you're not...
I didn't vote, by the way, just for the record.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
No,
But you led it with, why do you think we voted for him?
He means supported him.
Supported him?
Yeah.
If you voted for him, I think you might support him because of that, because you're rational and despite whatever you might have felt, you could make a decision based on being reasonable. And I don't think everybody has the ability to be reasonable.
I think more do than you think, though. You're right. Not everybody doesn't, but I think more do than you think. But I do agree with that frothing at the mouth racist. And even as a white guy, it is hard to pull out of other white people any racial feelings at all. And I know
racial's the good word. See, every time you hear race with white people, they think it's racist.
Racial.
But racial exists.
Having racial fears
it exists with everybody.
But yeah, but a lot of white people don't admit it.
Not many people. You're right.
White people don't admit it.
No.
And I see it on stage by their, and it makes me nuts. Whenever you mention racial fear or racial discomfort, because everybody has moments of it, they interpret it as I'm a racist if I admit that.
And what you just said is what I'm talking about with this election is a bunch of people who can go, you don't,
we just
I'm voting.
We got to come up with a different word because racial's too close to racist, and that's why probably.
Yeah,
dude, I'm.
But you voted for Obama because he's black. You pretty much admitted that on the show.
I didn't know either, but yeah.
If I went on stage,
because I just want to see it.
If you went on stage, Patrice, as a black comic in front of a white audience, you'll tell white people they annoy you, and they'll laugh. And if I went on and said, black people annoy me sometimes, white people would be very uncomfortable. Black people would probably be much more.
And here's why I set myself up to try to not be a hypocrite, because I used to have arguments with white comics all the time, and I used to go, look, I try to approach it without it being taking advantage of white guilt. Right. I try to make it real and try to make myself a villain sometime. And you see me perform, Norton. I try to make myself a villain so that I'm not endearing, so that when I say it, that white people can be upset.
Rousing success.
Yeah, right on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
By the way, for the record, because Anthony's not here, when you ask him why McCain, he would say because, he believes in McCain's policies over Obama.
Of course.
I'll say, but there's
I'm just saying.
Ant is valid when he talks about.
And he could back it up because he starts spewing some stuff.
The NRA, he's a big NRA guy. And look, Obama's tax policy, it's like, it is a big thing, though.
He wouldn't be this animalistic.
Probably not, right.
If it was a white guy that won.
But he'd be closer to this animalistic
I guarantee.
than you think.
How long you guys been working together?
14.
8 years for me.
14 years.
Yeah, we started with the OJ thing.
Clinton was in office for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
8 years.
8.
No, 6 years at that time, meaning 6 more years Clinton was in office during that time. Was he ever out of his mind like he is now, and there's a Democratic president?
We didn't really.
He didn't make the money back then either.
We've grown over the years. We didn't talk politics back in '94.
But now his growth is based on saying uppity N-words that he's goofy enough to think that black people. Here's the thing.
In all fairness,
don't you think we just give a black dude who doesn't know any better, give him that?
In all fairness, like Ant's not here. He'll have a lot to say about this tomorrow. But what we need to do is get you both in studio at the same time to really have at it.
No, that's a good point,
but
though.
Because it's not fair to. It's easy, No, you're looking at an empty mic over there. So
what the hell? I've been listening to.
I understand, but we got to give him
this guy,
the opportunity to defend what he's saying.
The uppity N-word, she bumped into me, and how dare she? It's white entitlement, but you still won't say you racist, you liars.
That's a good point about if the guy is yelling, Obama's president. Like, that's just...
He's goofy.
It's such a taunting, silly thing.
Exactly. But you know what that is? Not defending that kid, but I'm going to say that the dude... He would have found any way. He would have been like, he would have said, Jesse Jackson bought new shoes. Yeah. It just is something that you can go,
he's breaking balls.
He's busting your balls. Right. The black president.
Let me, we're going to go to the phones because these guys have been holding some for a while. For over an hour. And I'm going to do it this way, Patrice, because, I'm a smart radio show host. I could
unleash.
I could just pick the call.
Wait, how many?
If I wanted to.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from top to bottom.
Do you think?
Whatever we get, we get. Okay.
I got a stick I'll poke you with. Back. Back. Shut up. Down, boy.
Let's start with Dave in Illinois. Dave, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, hey, how you doing, man?
Hi, Dave. Good.
Patrice.
Yeah, it is.
You think that I'm getting a vibe from you. That
it's the same vibe I'm getting from your voice, by the way.
All right, but give him a shot.
I'm going to give him a shot, but you can. I already smell it.
I'm not stacking the deck. We're going from top to bottom.
Let's go,
Dave.
Do your thing.
No. What I'm saying is that you believe that any white guy that voted for McCain and they were against Obama had some kind of racial undertone for doing so.
You know what, Dave?
You believe that?
Dave, let me ask you a question. Dave, let me ask you a question. I said in this room, I don't want to feel that way. But I do not think that was the case, and I really don't feel that was the case. But for the most part, I'm generalizing you, Dave. I am grouping you in with all of you.
That's not fair.
Oh, is it not, Mr. White Man? Do you hear yourself?
You know what?
Do you hear white people?
All right.
Do you hear fairness?
But that's
it's not fair.
It's not
easily 9 out.
Fair.
But Patrice, easily 9 out of 10 guys would say exactly what Dave just said. Easily.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
His name is Dave. He's not Uncle Sam. He's Dave. He's just a guy from Illinois.
9 out of 10
Do you
would say that.
get what I'm saying? So how dare fairness be a part of white people's speech?
So what's not fair as far as you're concerned, Patrice? Because when you say the same statement when it comes to stuff,
here's the what I mean about it's not fair. Mm-hmm. He's saying that my generalizing of white people is not fair.
He's right.
But
it's not fair.
That's what I'm But like, here's the thing, and I've always said this on the news, and it's a gameplay. It's hilarious to me. Is that when they go, 3 black men robbed a Walmart and shot and raped everybody.
They rarely say black man anymore.
But when a black guy does something, it is held over all of our heads. Even though it may not count against, but the country makes it feel like all black people got to defend ourselves. But when let's say Gary the Green River Killer, you probably know his name, Norton. I forgot his name, but the Green River Killer in Seattle killed 50 hookers.
Right.
Ultimately, one guy killing 50 people of the same thing. We should be looking at that person as, oh boy, it's more likely that this is, or John Wayne Gacy. If I'm a young white dude, I should be looking at any chubby white guy and go, he might choke me and put me in a cubby hole in his house. But
so why don't
one black dude.
Why don't you?
This is what I'm saying. It's all one black dude does something. We all have to go to the defense. I'm tired of defending black criminals. I don't want to. But it's ultimately it comes out to be a racial charge with white people. They can't just make it not racial.
But don't forget.
Why should we not?
Hold on. Give us a little serial killer example. Don't forget John Muhammad and the other guy, the snipers.
The snipers.
Most people are not looking at black people like potential snipers.
Not
when
at
it comes,
all. Not at all.
Or
it's still not. You know why? Because that's not really.
Timothy Spencer's another is a serial killer, black serial killer. He raped and killed white women.
What about that bad boy in Atlanta?
No, what I'm saying is serial killers are a weird one, man. Like when you look at someone who's doing such an anomaly, a guy that rapes and commits a murder is connectable to people, but a serial killer.
How about mass office killers?
Okay, that's a better example.
I should be looking at most white dudes. I should be looking at what you do mentally to E-Rock. I should always come in here and be like, oh boy, E-Rock could snap today and shoot us all. I could feel that way.
That whole thing, by the way, is turning around. He's becoming one of ours. One of us, finally. One of ours, please. One of us.
I'm saying the anger, when he said it's not fair, this is what I mean, the detachment, the arrogance of white people for him to say to me, because I grouped you in and generalized you, it ain't fair.
But I don't
think
you
out your skull?
I think you're misinterpreting that as arrogance, man. I don't think he's being arrogant. I think he really is looking at it
like, not malicious. That's what, when I cut you off before, when you said something and you said, let me finish, I didn't get to the, it's because there's a maliciousness that I don't, one thing I'm going to say, not all white people are maliciously racial.
But that might not, but just because.
It's a condition.
But you can't just say that because he's not being malicious, he's still arrogant. He might not be arrogant. He might not be malicious or arrogant.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not separating, you're not breaking it down enough. You're saying that whenever a white guy feels something isn't fair according to race,
right,
or says, hey, that's not kind of cool, he's being arrogant.
I wish I could look at white guys' plight and go, the plight of the white man.
Not even a plight, though, but just a guy going, hey, man, that's not fair that you think that way.
Look at racially, the tipping of the scales racially is not based on black people's relationship with white people. It's based on white people's relationship with white people. It's a civil war between N-word lovers and racists. Like, it's the right and the left, and white people are always discussing how we feel. That's what I'm saying. We, in this country, we're like dogs to this country. We don't have our own feelings. We don't know how to feel. We don't know how to rationalize. We're just crazy. Calm down, paranoid, crazy black man. Let us figure out your problems. That's what I'm saying. It's not malicious. It's just what white people are. Arrogant. They don't want to hear it no more. That's all it is. I'm telling you, being from where I'm from, what I know is covert, non-aggressive racism. The racism you cannot prove. And that's what we living with now. That's why I'm saying all of this is nonsense to me, because I don't feel anybody change. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so where does the line go between racism you can't prove and covert racism, institutionalized racism, which I agree with you, it exists.
I don't. It's like everybody feels Bill O'Reilly's a racist. But can you prove it?
But where does that line end, and the line where it's like, I'm black and I'm misreading this? Mm-hmm. Almost like there is a line where you're black and you're misreading something.
Okay, give me an example of you think that black people just misread something about how white people feel.
That booing right there was a great example of misreading the. If had I not seen that in every single concession speech, I would have thought, my God, they're booing this. Like, that was.
And that comes from education, and I wasn't educated on that issue. I took it as how I felt at the time, right. And watching McCain, and what I said, it had a lot to do with McCain. The way he said, the way he looked, it looked like he was like, don't do this. It didn't look phony, like this is what he's supposed to do. It looked like a disappointed man in that reaction to the people that represent him, because it just wasn't right.
I think when he saw them booing, it was almost like, nah, don't do the typical thing now. Not don't boo like that was the typical thing.
Yes,
to boo.
Don't do that. Don't
now. Do what we always do.
I think he was
not now. This is a bigger.
I think he was playing his role in that whole thing. I think he appreciated that people were booing.
No, I
because McCain still believed all the way to the end that he was the better guy.
I think he's too genuine.
So when you got your supporters going boo, I think you're up there going, oh, that's kind of cool.
I felt that guy on his concession speech.
I did too.
Dude. I felt that dude. And
after
felt like
when he finally got to really say what he wanted to say, it was a great speech.
I really
got to go to the phones. These guys are killing the talk. Let's go to Eric in Cleveland. Eric.
First off, I got to tell you, I'm black. I didn't vote for Obama. I felt that Obama was bad for the country. And I got to tell you, Patrice, I'm ashamed of you even being black with me, simply due to the fact that I am listening to you and this garbage that you're spewing out. We're Americans first. We're Americans first. And I understand that people have gone through a lot of hardship and a lot of agony to get to where we're at, but everybody has. Chinese, Irish, Italian, black. We all have gone through something. Our job is basically to get there and do what we're supposed to do.
Can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you something right now. White people think you're hilarious. White people are like, who is this goofy guy? Your white wife and your white friends. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you. I will tell you this. You said you're ashamed that I'm black. You're ashamed of how I feel. You're ashamed of how I feel is what you're saying. What you're saying is you're ashamed. As a matter of fact, you insulted me to get your point across, and I'm telling you, I'm sharing my feelings with you, and you haven't even shared a feeling. Do you feel like this country's racial? Do you feel like this country's racial? You're one of these black people. Let me tell you who you are. You're a black person. You're a black person who doesn't eat watermelon in front of white people.
Patrice,
that's who you are.
Let him answer. That's a good question.
First off, you are right. I don't like watermelon.
Exactly. You don't like nothing that makes you think that you're the black way that white people present you.
Are hypocritical. Hypocrites.
Who's hypocrites?
If Obama was a black Republican, he would have never got in.
That's an absolute lie. Colin Powell would have been the president. Matter of fact, when I heard, I'm going to tell you something. Colin Powell sound more presidential supporting Obama than Obama did.
Like an idiot. He sounded like an idiot because all he could say was that Obama was black and that's why I support him, not on his ideas, not on his concepts. And so we decide that this country is far more important than our whole race aspect.
I love this country. I love this country.
I want that guy to, Patrice asked a good question. Patrice, you asked this guy a good question. I didn't hear his answer about what do you think is racial about the country. I would like to hear his response because I didn't hear that. What was the question you asked him? It was something about what...
Yeah, do you think this country is racial?
Of course, it's racial.
So that means but you sound like you've made it despite the racism in this country, correct?
Like every other race.
Like every other race.
Every other race.
As including myself, that I make it despite how this country treats us. I'm not saying that this is an excuse. This country treats us like garbage, dude. And for you to say it doesn't, does this country treat black people like garbage?
Everybody like garbage.
Really? What white person got treated like garbage historically?
But that's where I'm at with this guy. We all get treated like garbage.
Historically.
Hold on, let him answer. I want to hear let him answer.
Everybody's being treated like garbage, and I'll tell you how.
I agree with that, man.
You see it in the line, people standing in for food stamps, and you know what? Those who make it. Those who don't. That's the American way.
Dude, you're allowed to feel like that, but I'm gonna tell you, you've never had an experience. You've never had an experience to have you realize that.
That's where you are so wrong.
Wait, how is he wrong? How is he wrong?
How am I wrong?
How is he wrong?
I'm your age.
What happened to you to feel this way?
I have experienced racism to the utmost. But
what have you experienced?
Make a difference.
What have you? Do you understand how you're sounding? You're not being honest, man. You're saying the goofy. You're talking for white people.
But you have no stand against a black man who has equal intelligence to you, who's experienced what you've experienced.
I asked you a question. What did you experience?
What? And I understand that everybody...
Answer the question.
What have you experienced?
Answer the question, man.
Answer the question. Yeah. Good. I started high school my elementary school to my junior high school years were all in an all-black school. My parents moved to an all-white neighborhood. I was the third family in an all-white neighborhood in the late 70s, early 80s. I experienced racism. The N-word was used every time that I went around. I did everything in my power to compete with them on their level, on intellect, on the levels of athleticism.
Same thing as me.
And guess what?
Same thing. Right now we're not different, but go ahead.
Yeah, how were you able to move on from all that? Because Patrice can't move on from any of that.
Do you think that this is? Can I ask? Hold on, Eric. Excuse my interruption. This is a white guy on the outside. This to me sounds. Are you think this is a black guy who is not in touch with his anger or rage at what? I mean,
of course not. And I don't even use the word sell out this and sell out that. But this guy's been called that, and here's the thing, I relate to this guy on a level where I understand being an intelligent black man, you get a moniker of being a sellout. But you don't like black people.
Wrong. I love black people.
All right, we can continue.
But you know what? I've also learned to love other people too.
Me too.
Because of that, I'm able to see the world as a complete whole and not as an individual. And that's why I don't think I'm bothered with it.
White people don't even follow you, man.
Sure.
All right.
That was interesting to hear, though.
Yeah, Patrice, just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let it go.
I really want to just
you got to let it go.
Over it, man.
For your own health. You got, just high blood pressure.
I'm very over it. I'm over it despite the situation. That's all I'm saying.
Just let it all go.
Spewing garbage. Shut up.
We need you to just
shut up with your white friends around clapping you. Yay, you dumbass.
I'm getting you a meditation class for.
See, that's why we like Byron. You're an idiot.
You have to.
You know how many white friends I got? You jackass.
Very few.
Well, you know how many white people I claim to have? You know how many white friends I think I have?
You know how many white comics will do a gig with you to split the driving costs?
We should do a secret ballot. You should write down all the white friends you have, and then we'll go to those people and see if they're actually friends.
I don't even want to know. I know when it comes down to it, they'll run for their lives. But there's a few.
I wanted to be your friend, but you don't invite me to your damn barbecues. And you go, you wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So you don't give me the invite. So
what are you going to do? I'll invite you next time.
Oh, well, boy, thanks for throwing me a bone.
Hey, there you go. Black president.
Whatever. Oh, now it's okay to have
we got to start somewhere. I'm going to start with inviting you to a barbecue. I'm moving on.
All right.
I'm moving on like my friend from wherever he is with all his white friends.
Eric from
Cleveland. He thinks he's loved.
Well, we did good there. We took 2 phone calls. We have 20 on hold easily. Opie and Anthony.
Listen, I promise I'll shut up.
Where are you? You plugging anything?
I'm at Comics December 26th, 27th.
Oh, Christmas.
Why? That's a great weekend. I mean, especially if you're gearing up for Atlantic City the month after. What? Patrice and I together.
A month. All right.
Ain't about me. It's about us.
Yeah. All right.
It ain't fair.
All right. More phones right after the break. I'm just mad today. Opie and Anthony. I'm mad because we couldn't talk movies with Patrice, video games, sports. This was all encompassing today.
I have a question.
But good radio.
I have a question
yes,
for Patrice, too, as a black man. When do you know... Dr. King was always a hero of mine growing up. Martin Luther King. When is his birthday?
Yeah. Birthday.
Yeah. It is in it's in January.
Yeah. January what?
January 20th.
No.
Nope.
And what do you do to celebrate his birthday?
Yeah, what do you do?
I beat white people.
Well,
I hose them.
You and I do to celebrate? I always do this. I perform in Atlantic City. It's January 15th is the great doctor's birthday, but the 16th, 17th, I perform at the Borgata. That's how I celebrate Batman's birthday.
I gotta tell you got me too, man. You got me too. Wow.
Thanks, Kenny came in and told me it's Martin Luther King weekend.
Wow.
All right, thank you, somebody.
Wow, your acting was really good there, too. Anthony not here today. Fair to say Anthony will have a few things to say tomorrow. You might want to wake up early tomorrow.
I won't listen. I'll just let it happen, and then the day we're in together, we'll hug.
I know you guys will be here together December 1st.
Okay.
So that's going to be a big day.
I'll talk
a fight to end all fights.
I bet you it's not as big a fight as you think. And I hope not to be the codependent woman.
Because we've had these conversations before. It's not a big deal. It's just now with great racism comes great responsibility. He has too many of these crazy crackers saying things like uppity. And anytime, white lady, you're in the mall at Ross Clothing buying your crappy belt and your nasty plastic shoes, and you bump into a white woman a black woman in the same store, she's not being uppity. She's the same broke idiot as you. So please stop thinking you're better because you're white. You're not.
Let's say hi to Sean from Brooklyn because of the discussion. He's a black guy. Just so people know what's going on here. Sean, what do you got?
What's going on, guys, man?
Hey, man.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Sean.
And what's up with the other dude over there? Let me tell you something. I'm a black dude. I'm a real black dude. Yeah. I live in East New York. I don't live in Hollywood. I'm not a comic. I work 60 hours a week. For dude to get on there, Patrice I'm talking about, and to say that Obama is not black, he's half African and half white.
Yep.
I got news for you, dude. Check this out. Every black man in America is half African and half white. Where'd they get the slaves from?
No, you're not. No, they're not.
Where'd they get the slaves from, Martin?
You're talking. Here's the thing you're doing right now. You're being emotional. You didn't hear what I said.
No, I heard exactly what you said.
That he's black in this country because of what?
Because of his skin.
Exactly. That's my point I made. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
So what are you upset about?
That he's not a black man.
No. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing I can hear from you. Here's the thing I can hear from you. See, the thing is, by what you're saying, about how you qualified yourself by saying you're a real black dude, right? This is our problem. We qualify ourselves as real black, real this, real that, by our experience and keeping it real and this. Your voice is not the same as the other dude, and your voice is not the same as mine. Dude, you from East New York, I hear it. You probably don't play games and the whole thing, you're not a comic. And really what you was doing in an emotional way is you was insulting me. Yo, I'm not Hollywood. I'm not a comic. You dismiss me. This is our problem, is that we can't be different. We can't be different and be the same. What I'm saying is, when I say he's not black, okay, I mean he is not, it's not a generational thing that's deep in him, because we've been locked up in this country since 1619. Let me tell you, Africans don't give him to us. Africa thinks that he's theirs. They said that they export presidents to this country. They disrespect black people. They don't look at us like that. I'm telling you.
Patrice, when I said a real black man, I mean a real N-word, okay?
Right.
I don't know if I can say it over the radio. Hold on a second. When I say that, I mean that, bruh, I work 60 hours a week. You hear what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I work 60 hours a week. I work on the weekend doing a little bouncing job at a little Mexican club. I got my granddaughter because my son is on the street right now talking about he's on the grind so he can get $600 Prada shoes. I'm the same age as you. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm hearing you.
So my perspective is going to be different than yours. Just because you got money, I don't think there's a...
I don't got no money, dude. I don't have... See, wait, no, I can't wait a second, because you think something of me that ain't true. I don't have no money like that.
You missing the whole point.
All right, what is your point?
I'm coming from emotional. What I'm saying is you can get on there and you can talk ha-ha funny jokes and that.
Did you feel like I was being ha-ha funny? See, this is what's going on. I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. And it's our problem. This is our problem. What's going on?
Oh, you going to let me say what I got to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm saying, how do you throw in, you're insulting me, right? But then you want to keep going. I can't retort. I can't get in there. You dismissed me 4 times already. I don't have the money you think I do. Let me tell you how easy my life would be if I smiled and shucked and jived and felt and didn't tell people how I feel.
Or we're just nice.
You understand? That's what it is, dude. I'm telling you, all of this thing where, yo, I'm a real N-word and all that. What does that mean? This is what I'm saying, dude. Everybody, we're all qualifying what black is.
When you ask the other dude from Cleveland, what racism have you experienced and what makes you different from somebody else, like I said.
Oh, so, okay, what is the point? So what you're saying is I'm crazy for thinking that this country's racist?
I fit the profile. So don't ask me about what kind of
So what is your beef with me?
I don't think he was. Hold on. I don't think Patrice. I don't think that guy was dismissing you. I think he was just like saying, "I'm not these other things that you've mentioned before you." Okay,
fair enough. But what is your beef with me? What am I saying that ain't right to you?
My beef with you is for you to say that Obama is not a black man, that he's an African.
Yes.
African and half white. Bruh,
but you got to understand my point. What's his name?
Brought over here and
Troy? Sean?
And therefore, that's where you come in.
No, Sean. No, just listen to me, Sean. Let me try to say what I meant by that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, and I could have said it wrong, that the country is so racial and so racist that anybody black will be black by their color, not their experience. It's just the fact that black people are black because of our skin and white people are white because of their skin. I'm saying that not that he ain't no real brother. I'm saying the dude is first generation African. He's not you. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that he's black because that's how racial the country is that they qualify us just by skin. That's my point.
Okay, all right. So I'm sorry for dissing you 4 times, but let me say one thing to you. If you've seen Obama, and you don't know he's Obama from a hole in the wall.
Right.
And you just happen to see him on the street. You couldn't look at him and say, he's first generation African.
He's black, exactly. Right. There you go, because of his color, exactly.
But you don't see white people as Irish. You can through ethnicity tell.
I don't see anybody as anything. I just see him as a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a real N-word, but I work with white people.
Because you have white friends.
I work with everybody.
But we're not talking about your friends, Sean. We're talking about the country. I have white friends. There's white people I truly love as people, and they're my friends. And you probably have white guys because you work so hard that, dude, you have a beer with them, you probably fought with them, and you love them. But we're talking about the country, man. You feel how you feel because of the country.
Right. But see, what you have to understand is, in order for us to be able, and Anthony was asking about a solution, and I'm going to give you the solution. In order for us to be able to move on to the next level where race relations and racism and racistness, whatever buzzwords everybody want to put on it, is going to get better, and I'm saying we now because I'm including you now, I'm embracing you. Okay, first I had to spank you, now I'm going to embrace you.
You think you spanked me? Are you out your mind? What is this, a rap battle song? You spanked me?
Yeah, Jimmy and I felt it. Absolutely.
Now, Sean, you knocked him around a little bit, now make him feel better.
That's right. We all felt it.
I love when they infight.
We as black people, yo, stupid. We as black people first have to
Got Lesnar
embrace
talking at Couture
each
right
other.
now.
We have to embrace each other. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, Sean.
We have to be able to get past the barriers of just because you got a little bit of chips and I ain't got no chips.
Yep, exactly.
You funny, ha-ha, or whatever.
Yep.
Again with the you got chips.
He's right.
What is it talk? Do you see where it's going? This is why we can't
Couldn't
win.
agree more, Sean.
That's right,
That's what
Sean.
he's got. Patrice has some chips.
Yep.
And he is slightly uppity, but I like the fact that Sean smacked him around.
Yeah.
Patrice, comment? Patrice, comment?
On what?
On what Sean said?
I already commented.
Where are you, Patrice? Is that your mic today?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Opie and Anthony. Anthony, for the people that are just tuning in, did not make it today. His mama and his stepfather, Sal, celebrated 25 years of where are you, Jimmy? There's Jimmy.
That would be a sin if I wasn't on.
They had their 25th anniversary, wedding anniversary thing that they did yesterday, and Aunt called around 7:15, and I thought my pal was calling just to say hi. I'm like, oh, Aunt wants to just talk about the football games. I'm not stupid. I knew something was up.
Hey, can fucking stupid Eatman call me back? I called him 2 days in a row and didn't hear. I understand he's a busy guy, but it's like, how about a minute call back?
What's up?
I tried to talk to him about something. He hasn't gotten back to me. It was irritating.
It was eating.
Yeah, Eatman, our radio agent.
Yeah. Are you using this to get him to call you back? Because he doesn't listen to the show. Every once in a while.
Oh,
he
no,
does.
no.
You know, this is way above his head.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect him to listen.
This shit's way above his head. He doesn't understand.
No, he has no idea what's going on.
Nah. All right. Unfortunately, you know,
a lot of people called in.
I just gotta say this: the two companies. I've been yelling and screaming about this for a while now, well over a year, maybe 2 years. They got to learn how to work together because both sides are now insisting that we leave at a certain time over there, and this is where it hurts the show. We had the phones lit with some passion and some anger and some thought and some just a little of everything. And we're like, oh, my God, it'd be so obvious if these two companies worked together. We would just sit here and take advantage of the fact that we have some great phone calls coming in. We come in to XM, Sirius, whatever the fuck it's called today, and look, no phones yet because now we have to rev up the engine and get it going again.
They'll call.
It's just so fucking frustrating.
It is, but
this is where it hurts us.
They'll never work together.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
They'll never work together.
It's too bad.
It does stink
because they're hurting the bottom line.
And I can't believe that I'm sitting here and I don't know why I just have an erection. For no reason at all.
Cialis?
No, just a rod.
You know what remember the word plethysmograph?
No.
Plethysmograph was when, talking about you and your dick just hard for no reason.
Yeah.
If Kobe Bryant had been found guilty and gone to jail for the rape thing in Colorado, he would, as a part of his probation, he would have had to get hooked up to a plethysmograph.
Oh, yeah.
And what that does is they show you things and do
It's how they get pedophiles.
It measures your arousal for different things. So if they hooked Norton up and showed him a picture of whatever and his dick got hard, it would be grounds with the plethysmograph to say this guy is a pedophile,
or what have you. Really?
That
stands up in court?
The convicted pedophiles, not just for your personal taste, but for convicted kid touchers to see if they are rehabilitated. Because if they have a very high recidivism rate, they will hook your dick up to that. And if it's still jumping around, that's why a lot of them go with chemical castration.
But you think what you think. How are you going to stop getting
Norton's
it's a condition of parole.
But how would you ever cure a pedophile in that?
You can't. That's why
if you get excited by kids, I think you're going to always be excited by kids. How do they get that out of your system?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their therapeutic process is. I think it should just be a fucking hammer to the temple.
Like Clockwork Orange.
Sure.
Yeah, they show you a picture of kids getting fucked with vomit-inducing drugs.
That sounds insane. Hey, we could talk about the Obama, the black-white thing again, but I was talking to Stunt Brain when we were trying to figure out who would, be a good fill-in because we knew Ant wasn't going to be here today, and I said Patrice. I mean, I always say Patrice first because you just bring, you bring a lot to the show.
Discord and unhappiness.
I was having a discussion with Kenny on the way over, though. I mean, even the people that aren't agreeing with Patrice and all that, they're not turning the dial. So there are people out there that will listen to a show because they don't agree with stuff. Yeah. And I don't even know where it falls, what percentage agreed and disagreed.
90-10.
You really think? I know you're kind of going with a joke, but I would bet you it's...
People's initial reaction is probably to disagree because, again, it's a white-black defensiveness.
Right.
But, like, because you always feel like you have to take up for the white guy, the black guy has to take up for the black guy. But, you know, what Patrice said, there's pieces of it I disagree with. But it's hard with him because it's like, as well as I know Patrice, I'll listen to him talk about something, and I'll agree with, like, he'll say something, and I'll agree with 3.5/5 of it, or 4/5 of it. And then there's that one piece in the middle, I'm like, no, that I don't agree with, and I don't want to be lumped in with that.
Right.
But, you know, there's a lot of it that makes a lot of sense. If you put down the initial reaction, which is, I got to defend white people, because I don't have to defend white people, because a lot of what is said about the country is the truth. Carlin, who, you know, I mean, look, one of his best bits was he was talking about American bullshit, and how the country was founded on just one, what did he say? One steaming pile of red, white, and blue all-American bullshit, and he just destroys the way the country was founded. And what am I going to do, like, not love Carlin? He was right!
Where's that bit? I got to listen to that.
It's off You Are All Diseased, and it's about how it was founded by slave owners.
That's one of the HBO specials, right?
But the way Danny, do we have that bit where it's called American Bullshit?
Is Carlin Pryor 1 and 2 for you?
It's Pryor Carlin.
No, I mean not in that order.
Yes, without a doubt.
Is Pryor 1 and then Carlin 2?
Yes, because Carlin...
Why that's the same for me, and why is that for you?
Because Pryor moved me more than Carlin did. Pryor moved me in a Carlin's genius. Carlin's genius.
I'm whispering to Patrice.
No, it's not that. Because Carlin's genius, and Carlin was a guy who stood there and pointed at everybody and tells you exactly what's wrong. But Pryor was a guy to me who was hurt. And there was a wounding to him that was, like, different.
He worded it better than I would have. Had nothing to do with Richard Pryor being black, you know, so to speak. It was that Richard Pryor was more, if you was, like, trying to figure out what funny is, like, if funny could actually be manifest on Earth, you go, Richard Pryor was funny. Carlin was verbally... I think is the most verbal. He was a master of He communicated that he doesn't believe in God, and it's amazing. Like that's what I wish I had. That's what I wish I had, which is I wish I can always explain myself exactly what I mean, and you can't confuse it.
But he makes you change the way you think or question the way you think about it, which was
he makes you think. Through his comedy.
But even more, like, he makes you think, and he makes you go, like, after you're done watching, you're like, fuck.
I didn't want to hear that.
That's right.
Like, you love Pryor.
Yeah.
You, like, love him. Yeah. And then you love what Carlin does. But you love Richard Pryor as a, just, you know.
I would go Carlin over Pryor just because I don't know enough of Pryor's stuff to be, just to add to the discussion. But what I loved about Carlin, and I probably saw him close to 10 times, was... He was going after his own audience and didn't care.
Yes.
It's like, do you know what confidence that takes and what balls that takes that you're going after, let's say, religion, and you know a bunch of the folks in your audience are very religious people. And I was like, that is fucking brilliant that he doesn't care.
When he said a lot of things. One of the things that, like, there's ones that change your life. One of the things he said that changed my life. And there's a few things that Pryor said that changed my life, too. But for different reasons. Right. Carlin said, what the fuck is this shit about angels? I said, what? Like, he just said that. What is this bullshit about angels? And then he goes, what about goblins? How come they don't get no credit? Like, I said, what the? I said, he completely said, fuck angels. And then the other shit.
You can't say fuck angels.
Like, he just said, fuck angels. It's
we
dumb.
need to believe in the angels.
And then he said, what happened to language in this country? When did my toilet paper become bathroom tissue? And he explained that to why words. And boy, it just changed my life. And Pryor changed my life. One of the things he said that changed my life the way I think is talking about how his father died fucking that woman.
Yep.
And the woman goes, I'm so sorry what I did to your father. And he goes, what? He died fucking you, bitch. It's like...
That's a hell of a way to go out.
Yeah, if I had to choose to die or get hit by a truck, what line would you be in? Like, I'd be in that long motherfucker. Like, he just rationalized that without pretension. Like, come on, baby, he was fucking you and he died. What do you want? You ain't got no control over that.
Pryor's thing was, like, what he was saying was funny, And he was saying it in a really funny way. I mean, he was just a purely funny dude. Like, not that Carlin isn't, though, because Carlin also is a very silly... He understands how to deliver really heavy shit, like, and be silly. Okay, like, he knows when to all of a sudden, like, let the air out of the balloon. That was Carlin's brilliance, too, is, like, he understands. He's basically telling an audience of people who believe in God, and he's being serious. He's going, I tried, folks. I really tried to believe in God. And the way he attacks America, he's not being cute. He's fucking telling you this is the real deal and this is how I feel.
How long's that been?
And
but what do white people
American
think?
bullshit is not that long.
What do white people think? What do white people think when they hear a dude like Carlin? Because there's not many who just completely trash the idea of this country. You know what I'm saying? What do they think when a white guy is saying things that a black guy is, I guess, supposed to be saying?
I think with Carlin is he's earned so much respect. I think people watch him and they understand.
Do they think he's liberal?
Well, he is. He was more.
I'm saying, is that what people dismiss him as? He's just.
I don't think they would dismiss him.
No, they never did. That was the brilliance of Carlin. You couldn't just say, he's a liberal.
I think because he would attack liberals too, and he would attack their ideology and their phoniness. I think when Carlin attacked something, even if you didn't agree with it, and I shouldn't speak for other people, but I think you knew that at least he was being very genuine. You never felt like you had a guy trying to bullshit you or trying to be fucking better than you. You felt like you had a guy who was telling you the truth as he saw it.
You didn't feel like you had an agenda?
No, he was just because he would attack liberals.
Right.
He would give you all this liberal, like, left-leaning stuff, and then he would attack feminism's phoniness. He would attack the phoniness of guilty white liberal language. He was a guy who was... He always felt like Carlin was seeking the truth and was a this is how it is motherfucker.
I loved them, man. Carlin Pryor, one and two. Pryor.
Who's three? Because you always hear...
It's up for debate.
That's what I'm saying.
Anybody you want to put in there...
That's what I'm saying. It's always...
either argue or...
For me, it's Woody.
Every comedian would put Pryor, Carlin, 1, 2 spot. Not every, but most. Who's three? What name will come up the most? Number 3.
Just in terms of longevity, and again, me and my girl had a conversation about the greatest singers of all time, and a lot of that's arbitrary in your own opinion, but we're going, okay, let's make up the top 5 comics of all time who you go, everybody has to go, okay, this is it, not your own opinion. I would have to say, not of my own opinion, you might have to put Cosby in there as 3. So it's Pryor, Carlin, Cosby.
Cosby would be on a lot of people.
I would put Chris Rock before I'd put Cosby on my person, way before. Chris, I like Chris a lot, man. I think
ever hear Cosby's stuff? That's fucking really
he was great.
Amazing.
He was great. He was great.
Got pretty hokey later in his career, but
Cosby
he was a storyteller.
Dude, he was amazing.
How about Red Fox is coming in?
Nah, Red Fox was very funny, and
that's personal, but you wouldn't put him in the top 5.
Because he did jokes, whereas
right.
Personally, he made you laugh. He was a funny dude, but he was. I mean, Cosby was a fucking. I mean, he was telling real life stories. He wasn't doing like exactly like your ass, which was funny to hear. But it was funny.
I listened to Cosby do I think it was like a 25-minute bit on skiing. Who has 25 minutes on skiing?
Cosby's and it was just my 3, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but a lot of people would put him up there.
Together.
Why not Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Bruce wasn't funny.
He was funny, but he wasn't funny like the top 5 are funny.
Right.
Lenny was just the guy who kicked the door open.
Get past the whole Daddy-O shit.
But back in those days,
I
when
try
he
to
did
listen to Lenny Bruce over. I just
he's
can't
not
get
funny.
into
what
it.
He is he's essential because if Carlin, he's important. Carlin and Pryor took what Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory attempted, which is fighting through language, man. Language at the time, you can get arrested and all that shit for language. And then Pryor and Carlin funnied up the opportunity. They took the opportunity that Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory gave to be funny with it.
I think Lenny was funny, but not number 3 funny. Dude. Like I watched some of his old stuff. And like he's sitting there and he's just kind of talking, and he does have that Daddy-O thing, which was again it was in an era of take my wife, please. So here was this guy having this weird, which he got all that from this guy Joe Ansis, and I was like,
wasn't it the jazz culture that whole Daddy-O
exactly?
thing?
Yeah, I think it was.
Because he was working all those clubs, warming up for jazz musicians and strippers, and
he was shitting on everybody. Oh yeah, like Lenny was making I was watching him do a clean set on TV. Rodney to me
top 5?
No. To me, Rodney does not make me laugh like he used to. Like, the more I listen to Rodney, I still admire him, and I still think he was very funny. But it's more guys, to me, Like Pryor and Carlin.
You wouldn't put him in the not your. This is the top 5.
That's not necessarily me.
Present.
Are we just doing comedians or political comedians?
No, just comedians
in general.
Top 5 that people would say. You're right. Rodney might be up there. Cosby might be in the top 5.
That's what I'm saying in terms of top 5, but that you can present as a worldwide top 5.
Who's easily in my top 5, and it's unfortunate he died so young. But Bill Hicks was just fucking amazing.
I never listened to him.
Holy shit! Fucking do yourself a favor. Listen to Relentless.
I don't want to know what he does. Not even.
A lot of the shit he talked about in Relentless is going on today. Just brilliant shit.
Kinnison, I would put up there.
Kinnison, maybe.
In mine, yeah. I don't think he would make everybody else's because he died young, but as mine, Kinnison was a funny fuck.
I was a huge fan of Andy Kaufman just because how he fucked with the audience.
Yeah.
Just
see, that's what I'm saying. The top 5 audience. You're looking at 2 dudes who are socially relevant. Then after that, there's a drop-off of...
Well, that's why I'm asking you, when I say number 3 in that genre, the George Carlin, Richard Pryor genre. And like you said, there's a massive drop-off, and it would...
Chris Rock is
the closest. He's
the closest in terms of what he's trying to accomplish with his comedy.
Yeah,
is saying something and being funny at the same time. And he's saying something.
And I like where Chris comes from a lot of times. Like a lot of times you don't see exactly where he's going to go with it. Like he's not giving you a 1 + 2 = 3. Like a lot of times Chris comes from a point of view that I'm surprised by. Like he had a very I don't remember what his bit on Michael Vick was. But I remember watching him do like a few minutes on Michael Vick, and I'm like, God damn it, that's a fucking great point of view. Like I didn't even agree with him, I don't remember. But I was like, that is a funny.
But you could appreciate the place he was going.
It was just great, and it was a fucking smart, funny idea that I remember just not agreeing with the point, but going as a fucking comedian, that was brilliant.
Eddie Murphy, maybe if he did more stand-up.
He stopped, but he stopped.
But Eddie Murphy is at the top of, like I said, he's the best probably in terms of even Pryor. Dude, Eddie's
it's a shame. He was
more famous than Pryor.
Yeah, but it's a shame. He was well on his way to be like a Richard Pryor or like a George Carlin, and then he went into Hollywood.
He only did 2 things, you know.
And he never.
But those 2 things were just amazing.
He was Delirious.
Delirious was amazing.
But he never had Pryor or Carlin relevance. He was funny, and he was an amazing mimic.
Yeah, he wasn't social. It was no social.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it was more social than anything. You're
all
right.
Recycled Pryor, like everything, like even the Drunken Stepfather. Pryor did that, or the Amityville Horror was really The Exorcist. I mean, everything that Murphy did, Pryor had done. But
it's a drop-off, dude. Pryor, Carlin.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement.
A third is an argument. Like, I don't even have a third.
Dude, I mean, look. I mean, we're trying to do this, and on instant feedback, you get Seinfeld, Rickles, Smirnoff, obviously a joke, Mitch Hedberg, Bill Hicks. There's not one name going. There's not one name coming in more than any other, is what I'm saying. Right. It's all like.
I mean, Hedberg is like like most people wouldn't say he's in the top 5 just because it's not time to put him in yet. You would have to wait a few years.
He was funny though.
But Seinfeld, you couldn't top 5. You could argue Seinfeld could be in there.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
for what it is.
I appreciated Seinfeld because I was amazed that he could do what he was doing, getting huge laughs without being dirty. I was amazed by that.
Brian Regan
is fucking
Brian Regan.
As far as just out loud funny, he's right there. But you wouldn't say
top 5 ever. Like
no guys have ever made, like belly laughs. Pryor has made me belly laugh. Like, I mean, even as a comedian, he's made me belly laugh. And there was something, and it wasn't even always dirty. There was something he did, and it hit me as funny, where he was talking about how his father would fucking sit in the barber shop and then read the almanac and then wait for people to make a mistake. And it made me belly laugh at this picture he painted of this horse's ass of a stepfather just looking to correct people and be a dickhead. But it was just, and then wait for people. He told you all you needed to know about that guy.
Yeah.
When he said my father would read the almanac and then wait for people to make a mistake. And you're like, God almighty, I know who that... You immediately understood this crotchety old fucking guy.
And he did it. See, this is the difference between Pryor and Carlin. And why I put Pryor ahead. It's because Carlin would be able to make it up in his mind, and he would verbalize it, and he would create that thing and let you and dissect it. Pryor just felt it and said it.
Yes.
And it would be nothing pretentious, which is why, let me say, Bill Hicks didn't, I don't think Bill Hicks became what he should have been because he operated, for some reason, Carlin never operated above the audience. You never felt, like he was saying, he was looking at you like, ugh.
Well, he kind of did the whole thing with a wink, but you know,
it was social something. It was
but
about
he was
society.
He was kind of looking at you like, you know.
But Hicks was disgusted.
Oh yeah, there was
people
real.
He was with.
He didn't hide the anger he had for the system.
But he was disgusted with, like he was disgusted. The thing about the audience is you have to be disgusted at something else and not them.
Or disgusted at them with, you have to be with them on some, and what you just said, like Pryor had that thing too, where he had this ability to talk about race to white people, and you had to laugh and you had to acknowledge that there was truth in it because you never felt resentful, because as a white guy, I never felt that Pryor was trying to make me feel anything bad other than this is the way it is. Like he was never trying to make me feel guilty or bad.
Ever the genius that he was. He was never, like when he said, he goes, the white woman come to him and go, that Leon Spinks is dumb, ain't he? And he goes, well, what would you think of me if I agree with you?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, dun, 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 look at the point I made. It was like,
hey, we got the Carlin bit about America.
And it's only like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's easy.
And it's just the way he's so disgusted. It's just the way he says it. He's not trying to be.
It's real easy. George Carlin, what's this bit called?
It's my favorite thing. My favorite special is called "You Are All Diseased." It was done in, I think, '99 or 2000.
That was 3 specials ago, right?
Or maybe, yeah. It was done here in New York, live at the Paramount.
You have some nice stuff in your book about George Carlin.
I love him.
I Hate Your Guts, and we learned that you cried when you found out. Carlin
like a baby.
Dude, I cried too.
Oh,
I was walking a dumb beach somewhere when I found out. It's like, what the fuck? Because we had him on only a few months before that happened.
Yes, we did.
We were hoping for more appearances by George. All right, here's the. There you go.
Fucking love that.
There you go.
But it's a guy who's not trying to soften the blow. He's not trying to. And the thing with Carlin is, the older he got, the longer he went in between punchlines. And normally when a comedian does that, it is like just saying things. But I think with him, he got away with it, and I don't mind it, because after 40 years of doing nothing but being funny, I was so interested in the way he saw things.
How he thought.
That his opinion to me was was extremely...
Now, how come when Jeremiah Wright, if Jeremiah Wright was saying that, or any black comic was saying that the whole vibe would have been different. Well, the crowd would have felt different. It would have been some other shit. But this one was, woo!
Well, you all know it's the same as the source. The same as if Imus had been black and said said black people wouldn't have been in an uproar. It's all the source. And if Jeremiah Wright had been doing a lot of fart jokes, and people, come on, it's a different vibe. When a guy is...
I'm saying that whole thing that he was saying...
It's truth.
It's just what... a black dude who can articulate that would say.
But it's always the source. You know that. Anytime you're hearing something... We always take it from where it's coming from, but we react to it. There's no absolute truth that we just hear from any source and agree with. It all depends on where it's coming from. Yeah. And as a comic, Pryor could have got away with that. Bicentennial Nigger is the name of an album and the bit is at the end of the album, and it's not. It's you know the bit I'm talking about, where he's got the fucking sarcastic American music playing. It's fucking.
He was scared. He put it at the end of his CD.
But no, he was fucking. It was the best way.
Joking.
It was the best way to end a comedy CD ever. It was just so completely now what? Motherfuckers.
Hey, we got the number. We got the number 3 comedian. It's obvious. We all overlooked this. Very obvious. Vince Champ.
Oh, he was fucking fantastic.
Vince Champ, number 3.
Number 3 comedian, number 1 boyfriend.
Oh my God, Vince Champ. That is a horrific story.
Dude, that is...
Voss had the funniest joke, though, because he had been at these colleges all over the country, and Voss goes, he has a good college agent. Who's his college agent?
What was, for the newbies, Vince Champ was a comedian that... he got a lot of people laughing, but he also did some raping on the road in between making people laugh.
He traveled through the country raping.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. And they found him from his book, like, wow, he was...
His book?
His
itinerary, whatever.
Like, he's like, wow, girl got raped.
And they finally started putting it together, yeah.
And on the internet, too, because I forget how it came about, but he would say after...
prison?
Yes, I don't know. After he would rape a girl, I think he would say, like, pray for me. He would do something with prayer.
Right.
So it was obviously a demon he was fighting. And I think someone talked about that on the internet, and someone else, when a guy did that to me, it was like one of those connections. And then, I'm a college student, he's a black,
We used to say, he would rape a bitch and go, all right, now, tell me what you think of this joke.
Jesus. Hey, the top 10, Comedy Central, whatever.
Yeah,
1 and 2, I'll agree. I'm sure they got prior callers 1 and 2.
Eddie Murphy 10, Roseanne Barr 9, Bill Cosby.
Roseanne Barr. Look, I like Roseanne. But above Joan Rivers.
That's a perfect example why we hate these lists, where they have to kind of balance it all out.
Above Joan Rivers, who was one of the funniest people ever.
Well, Roseanne Barr beat out Johnny Carson, Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, Bob Newhart, who was hilarious.
Yeah, Newhart I'd put in the top 10.
Ellen
Newhart.
DeGeneres.
Ugh, as one of the top 10 stand-ups.
Don Rickles is in
Bill
top
Hicks, Sam Kinison. She beat all these people.
Yeah, I would agree.
Stephen Wright, Red Fox, Hope.
So what was the top 10? It was Pryor?
So you got, Eddie Murphy, Roseanne Barr 9, Cosby 8, Dangerfield 7, Martin 6.
Ah, that was the one. Steve Martin, number 6. Steve Martin, look, was a funny guy. He was a funny comedian. He was doing arenas. He was silly. I listened to his shit recently. And look, I know I'm a stand-up and I shouldn't be disrespecting his... Hey, look, the guy did some very funny shit. But when I listen to that material now, I like a woman who has a puppet on her shoes.
I like
put that above fucking Kinison or above any of the people. How anybody voted for him in the top 10 makes me fucking sick. Joan Rivers, I told you I saw her like a year and a half ago at the cutting room in front. She's working on material, and that fucking bitch came out and was
Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis
Joan
Diller was
as brutal a set as I've ever seen a comedian do. I mean, I was in awe of what she was doing. This is a year and a half ago, and I'm like, that is what we do. She's in her fucking 70s. She stood there for an hour, and it was funny shit. It was 9/11. It was AIDS. It was fucking brutality from the minute she got out there. She didn't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
It was like, God, it was inspiring to watch.
Steve Martin 6.
Yeah.
Chris Rock 5. Woody Allen 4.
Lenny 3 is a polite thing.
Lenny
if he's 3.
3.
Yeah, it's a polite thing.
Carlin Pryor.
Lenny 3, people think they're supposed to say Lenny Bruce because they feel that by not saying Lenny Bruce, they're being disloyal to something
we just kind of felt
and
that.
a pioneer.
We kind of said that ourselves, sort of, when you're thinking number 3.
Well, yeah, he comes to mind because of we just believe that, well, Lenny was the godfather of this type of language. Well, Mom's Mabel, he was doing it too, but just not on the mainstream level. But Lenny is not.
You ever hear Newhart stuff?
Oh, he's amazing.
Fucking amazing.
He had the number 1 and number 2 albums in the country
at the same time,
it's mind-boggling the success.
Yep.
He was doing comedy literally for a couple of months when he taped those albums. It was a weird gifted thing he had, and they were funny. I mean, you can't even say they weren't funny. They were
just
fucking funny.
Just a stammering mess.
Yeah, I mean, he was an original.
All right, we're gonna take a break, and
I gotta piss.
There's something else that I want to talk to Patrice about. The blacks. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying sorry. The blacks with the gay marriage issue.
Okay,
you had some thoughts on that?
I do.
Because I think gays are now trying to say that they are on the same page as blacks.
They have been
now.
for years saying that.
Yeah.
And they are.
And you got some thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I don't think he agrees with that.
More with Patrice O'Neal in just a bit. Where? Who gives a shit?
Oh, no, Opie, hold on.
What?
This coming Friday, I'll be in Atlantic City. Vegas.
Yeah.
At the TBS Festival on the 7 o'clock show at Caesar's Palace. It's me and Bobby Kelly. I'm hosting.
How come TBS?
Wait, there you are.
Me, Bob Kelly, and Russ Beneva, and another comedian.
How come they didn't do the thing on TBS where it was like Seinfeld, Cook, Norton?
That's exactly why. Because it was Seinfeld, DeGeneres, Cook. Norton's a big drop off the cliff. You know, if it was Quinn, O'Neal, Norton, DePaulo, well, you know, I don't blame TBS. Why would you mention me? On the brochures, I'm in the small font, but Russell Peters is in the small font. Dice is in the small font. I mean, there's some other fucking comedians that are in the small font.
Who's in the big font?
Dane, Ellett, and Seinfeld. Cat Williams, I don't remember. He was in the medium font.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind being in the small font because it was like a lot of notable comedians.
At least you're being fonted.
Being fonted is fine.
You want to be fonted.
Yeah.
Fonted.
Hey, what were we talking about during the break?
Fonted motherfucker. What is it?
Oh, we're talking about black people and their issues with
Gay people?
No, gay people.
Oh, no, but some of the stuff we were saying during the break was pretty funny, too.
Oh, the thing I was talking to John about, he goes...
John Gibson loves Patrice O'Neal.
And I'm on there messing around with him. And I said, John, I know what white people want out of this. They want racism to be over out of this election. I said, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He goes, well, you owe us something. What are we going to get? I go, white people, if you're going to say, okay, here's what you can keep. You can keep outer space and you can keep the ocean. That's my deal with white people. You can't, I'm not going to stop saying racism exists, but I will stop saying, I will let you continue to go in outer space and do things, and I will let you go at the bottom of the ocean, or climb mountains. So anything that black people have no interest in doing
we could have that.
You
space.
can have that.
That's
and
nice
keep
of
it.
you, Patrice.
Yes.
Hey,
that's my deal with you.
Now the other big issue, and we do have we have this Texas pastor. We'll try to get into it, but he's preaching 7 days of sex. It's a great little story. We're going to get to that, but we're going to start with the gay black thing.
Yeah, black people for some reason.
Now, just to bring everyone on board, Proposition 8 was voted down, so gays can't be married in California.
Okay.
Do you think gays should be married?
Yes, personally, yeah.
I do too. Jimmy?
Yes, of course.
And I think that on a level, here's a level I think it on. I don't give a shit.
Totally.
Like, that's the level. Not on a civil rights manner or this and that. It's who I don't give, because marriage as an institution used to be something like godly. In the eyes of God, we are in union with each other forever. Now it's just health insurance and who gets shit at the end of the day, and can I visit you in the hospital and all kind of goofy shit. What do I care? I don't give a fuck. My thing is, I always felt this, and is that your sexual preference. And here's my thing: I want somebody to give me a logical reason why your sexual preference, I should be hearing about it. Why who you want to be with qualifies you to go through something. And the part of it that bugs me is I'm born this way. Shut the fuck up. Because why is that a preference? And choking your bitch while she's coming is a fetish.
You looking at like just the terminology used around. Like,
I just don't want to.
Sexual preference. Hold on. Sexual preference is just the way they phrase it. But if gay people are born gay, let's just say for the sake of argument they are born gay.
Yeah.
Which I certainly believe that the majority of them are.
Right, because why would you go through anything that you didn't have to go through?
I just think I think just for nature puts it into play. I think it's part of nature.
Someone explained it to me. They said, "You think I would choose this?" You know.
Right.
And you've seen too many little gay kids that are like this when they're like really small, like before they are able to make a decision.
There was someone that was working in this business pretty close to us that was gay. Steve. Okay. Well, sure. And I'm like a sheltered white kid from Long Island. I only started learning about the gay thing when we were at NEW, and this person's like, "You think I would choose to be like this? Hell no! It's so much easier to be with a woman than."
But so fucking what? You think you're born a certain way, and you decide that you can't take your own hiding of your thing that you feel society's against, so you come out in this manner of defiance to say, fuck that, I'm not going to hide who I am no more. Right. But I still am not going with, okay, I'm born this way. It's still sexuality.
Well, that's just their way of trying to explain it to people.
Look, if you want
you're getting, like Jimmy said, I think you're getting caught up in.
You can't say that they're not born that way, though.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're not born that way.
You don't think people are born that way?
I'm born this way.
I'm with Jimmy. I think most people are born to be gay.
I think you're born to a certain degree. Certain things are learned. I'm not saying that certain people don't learn to be gay.
How about Anne Heche?
I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Ready? Here's my thing. Now, guys is a different story, and I'm not trying to make a bit out of it. But for the most part, once you get fucked as a man, if somebody goes, "Hey, you ever have sex with a guy?" Matter of fact, Pryor did come out with that.
Yes.
That he has, but no one ever goes, "You gay?" Just like you and your thing, no one goes, "Well, Norton's gay."
Not gay.
But guys usually, once they step over the bounds of fucking a guy.
Sorry, I couldn't help you there, Jimmy.
They're gay forever. Women can play. This is what I'm saying about what you play with. Yeah. Anne Heche would be gay on Wednesday and straight on Thursday. And if a woman goes, "I'm gay," see, gay to a guy for a woman is a bull dyke, like, who just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
But if a woman eats another woman's pussy, we don't give a fucking on that level, and she can switch up tomorrow. I'm not saying that you're not born, but you're born like that. You're born bisexual. You're born wanting to fucking eat pussy.
I think that...
What are you talking about?
Their argument is this. They just don't want to have to fucking duck. They want to be able to get married or get divorced or just do what they want and be left alone.
Okay.
And I think that's where the defiance comes in. It's like, because like if you want to go out and get married or you want partner benefits, you want the same shit that everyone else is getting legally. That's it. You don't want to have to go to church, and you don't want to hear this sickening organization tell you that what you are is a sin.
I agree with
or
that.
what you are is dirty and you're not going to get into heaven. And that's just the sickening history of the church.
I don't disagree with that.
So, that's what they want.
I agree with you 100%.
I think that's what they want.
That, please, I don't, in the eyes of, I know that the institution of marriage isn't that. To get to the fact that black people didn't vote for that, or that they're 70% or something, 80%.
Yeah.
Black people are horrified of God. And they're horrified of God.
It's religious, yeah.
And also Latinos. They're religious.
Yes.
To the fact that a lot of religious black people are horrified to change the Jesus that looks like, Tom Petty. They're scared
young Tom Petty.
to question white Jesus. That's how, man, black people do not play around with God.
It's a religious
and
one thing that black crowds don't go for is really, you can talk about God, but like white crowds will let you get away with pedophile stuff and religious stuff a lot more than black crowds.
Black crowds are conservative in the way they think religiously, and ultimately, and let me make this sure I say this right, that on when you get strong religious thinking people, like I believe in God, but religion I question. Strong religious thinking people who just going to go with what they go with and be conservative, gay is not acceptable by God. So they'll be going against the rules of the Bible by supporting that. And that's all it is to it.
It's a religious thing,
But when you're a person who can think, most people go, who gives a... Like, I get mad at gays for even thinking, like, it's the same thing where as a white person, this is a great point to go with the race part. As a white person, you go, I don't give a fuck about that. As a straight dude, I'm like, what? First of all, get over yourself. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm not looking at you like anything. I live in New York.
There you go. Now you understand how white he thinks.
But a gay guy has feelings.
Right. He wants you to
just won't understand.
The gay guy wants you to care more. But the fact is,
I don't give a shit.
I mean, you ask me, I think, gay marriage should be legal, but I'm not going to run out there and start marching. I have other things to worry about. That's the point we've been making all morning.
So I do understand, but if a gay guy has some points about his feelings that make sense, because like I said, to me, it's a sexual thing. It's nothing but sexuality. It's not, look, I have a nigga parade every day. I walk down the street, motherfucker. There's no special day. I always am black. But a gay guy or a lesbian or a gay guy or a lesbian, there's a lot of choice to, why do I need to know? Now, ultimately, if the platform is, here's the thing, educate me. What is it that happens that gay people don't get? And the rights that they don't have, other than ridicule, because I should be able to ridicule you. I should be able to say, I don't like you, sissy. Why? I'm not trying to kill you, but what is it that you cannot do that heterosexual can do?
I think it's the majority of it is, like you said something like there's a perception like, well, people don't always know they're gay, but people always know you're black. Like that. But in a way, it's like, I don't think gay people want their rights. Hold on. I don't think they want their lives in any way hinged upon the hope that people don't know they're gay. I think that they're at a point where they're tired of it and sick and tired of having to not be affectionate with who you want to be affectionate with.
Other than you tongue kissing your girl in public.
Right.
Why the fuck do I know what you do sexually? Other than public affection, what is it that I need to know about you?
Okay, the fact
that you like men.
A lot of times, I guess guys that are open about being gay, that have a gay boyfriend, it's harder for them probably to get hired as teachers. It's probably harder for them to work in any capacity as kids, about adopting children, about getting married, about partner benefits. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that they have a whole different set of rules for. And it's not just, hey, I don't want people to go ugh when they see me, because that's a human reaction. I think that they want to be able, as a couple who makes $180,000 a year between them, want to be able to go in and, hey, I'm a school teacher, my fucking husband's a construction worker, we want to go and adopt the fucking kid, and we're going to be better parents.
All right, so, okay, here it is, and this is what comes back to my issue with the black thing. Do you want just the legislation rights? Meaning, do you want this country to really feel differently about homosexuality, or you just want to be able to be hired no matter what, and you'll take that, but people are still going, in their gut, but they don't like you, and it's really, they don't want you around.
But you have to legislate it first. Now, you can't legislate morality, you can't legislate stuff like that, but you have, once it's on the books and once it's happening, well, then people begin to live with you and begin to work with you and go, oh, well, everything is cool. Like this stupid prejudice I had or this stupid fear I had is unfounded. But the only way people do that, because most people, when exposed to you and you're exposed to them, kind of go, oh, all right. It's not what I was told.
And again, what we're talking right now, we're talking to 3 cities. There's only 3 cities in America. New York, L.A., and Chicago. This is a city issue, because if you're white, black, whatever, and you live in New York, L.A., or Chicago, you have to deal with everybody.
Yes.
We're talking people who, again, you don't understand, man. You travel a lot. You must know. You go, holy shit. I live in New York, and you go, this place is like living on another planet compared to Michigan. In this conversation.
I also think that gays are the target a lot of times of violence. And again,
not in New York.
No, I'm talking about the whole country. And again, you can't legislate that where people aren't going to go ugh or want to kill you for being gay. You can't. But the more the law is on your side, and the more the law and the country as a whole sees you as legitimate and what you're doing is fine and okay, the less you have to walk around afraid.
There's no heterosexual. There is no people who are fiercely heterosexual, meaning with a need to be like, all right, hey, I want to be able to hold my girlfriend's hand if I want to. Like, there's some people that look at you and go, what the fuck? Like, for what are you doing that for?
Well, we don't have to hide it. The thing is, we're coming, like you said,
but they don't have to hide it.
No, but you know how you said you're saying white people come from a place of white entitlement? This is a case of straight entitlement. You get but I'm saying you get so used to not having to be a certain way, you're like, well, why can't you just do that? When the fact is,
but why isn't other sexual things involved in that? Why isn't?
Because for them it's not just sexual. For us it's sexual because, like, hey, one guy's fucking another guy. But for them it's falling in love. It's being with a partner. It's like all the other things you do in a relationship. Me and you both.
So if I love prostitutes, why can't I affectionately? This is what I'm saying. See it again. It's going to be taken wrong.
Yeah.
My thing, I'm coming from a point of view like,
but do you want to visit a prostitute when she's in the hospital?
I might.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's some of my sick babies in Brazil.
Do you want to adopt a kid with a prostitute?
That's what I'm saying. I might.
But again,
I might.
It's more than a sexual thing. It's I guess it's a lifestyle.
You know,
there's a lot more going on there.
What
just like,
lifestyle,
look,
Opie? Sadomasochism, bondage. That's a sexual lifestyle. But what I'm saying is, I understand the love thing and this, but see, that's not the platform. Again, I don't give a fuck. It's just like abortion with me. The thing about abortion, my thing with it is, look, I have issue with women saying it's my body. I just have issue with it. It's not your body, bitch. Your kneecap, your brain, your earlobe is your body. But once you fuck a guy and some magic happens, and then something is growing inside you against your fucking nature's not your body. You just happen to be chosen to be the baby's apartment building.
It's a 50-50, yeah.
Anything could be. That doesn't make you special, and it doesn't make it your fucking body. But, bitch,
you're not pro-choice?
Kill it if you feel like it.
Are you
pro-choice? but I'm at the same time shut the fuck up.
I know, I agree.
I think it comes down to love, though. Like when you're doing the fetish stuff, you're not. There's no love there, is
really?
there?
All gay fucking is love?
No.
Well, no. As far as the other stuff they want to accomplish.
What if I lovingly put a red ball in my girl's mouth and put plastic bag over her fucking head, but I really care about it?
No, but he's saying that it's not just about that stuff. It's like the bottom line
is it's not just about the sexual act.
Opie, I know that, but that's my thing. What is it about? Please tell me.
I don't know
what you're fighting about. I can't agree with the fact that you want to fight to love the same sex.
All the stuff I just said.
Without ridicule.
No, but all the stuff I just said.
A pretty good point about that.
All the stuff I just said. There's marriage, which goes in with benefits.
But what do they really want?
And inheritance. Hold on. All that stuff. And the ability to adopt children. And the ability to work where you want to work without having to hide who you're with, without having to pretend you're something you're not. The fact that here's how you know there's a problem. The fact that they wanted to make a constitutional amendment to make their marriage illegal. The fact that is something.
I don't agree with that.
But the fact that is such, the fact that the country is looking at it like we have to change the Constitution so these people cannot enjoy the same marriage that we enjoy shows you that it's a bigger issue than just, what, can I let hold hands in the restaurant?
Here's the issue with black people, and again, speaking for everybody is whatever. Black people are not, as long as the platform is compared to civil rights, you'll never, ever get the cooperation from black people.
Even though it's a legitimate comparison in the sense of, you're shaking your head no, but the fact is, there are people in power who are treating people who don't have that power wrongly. It's an oppression, it's an ugliness, and it's a fucking ignorance, and it's people who are being hurt by other people who have no fucking business hurting them.
When I say that, what you just said, right? I say what I say based on feeling. It just ain't gonna happen if gays don't have a real compelling argument to make black people feel their pain, that feel that the same way that we feel is the same way they feel, and it's civil rights. And a lot of people's civil rights can be violated for a lot of different reasons. Like, I am for that on that level, what you said, but the platform of the fact is, to me, I can't see past that it's your sexual preference.
That's because black people are as shitty and awful as white people.
Right.
In this country, the hand has been dealt so much one way, but when you look in Sudan, there's slavery, African...
Oh!
No.
No. What I was going to say to agree with you is that ultimately, this is my thing about Africa. I never want to go back to Africa. I don't relate to it. I don't look at it and go, kings and queens. We're from motherfuckers that'll chop a motherfucker's hand off for a diamond, genocide, killing each other. They do that shit in Africa. I'm not I'm not an Africa guy.
So everyone, I'm saying is that everyone, when in a position to fucking say, hey, fuck you to the next guy, does it. It's a reality.
But I'm not saying fuck you to gays,
but in a way, if we're allowing people to be treated badly, sometimes there's a fuck you by lack of empathy. Sometimes it's like you say, how do you get black people to empathize? The fact that a group who has been shit on doesn't look at another group who's been shit on and go, even though we don't agree with you,
now,
hold on, you're being shit on. And gays have been so, as a group, pro-civil rights and so completely involved with black people, like never once turned their back on blacks.
And here's the thing. Agree with you 100%. My thing is, okay, what do you want? As a black man, what do I want? Do I want things like the black president to be the basis for how far I've come because of moments because of what am I looking? What's the word I'm looking? Because of, okay, the president or the first black guy in baseball, or hey, affirmative action. You got to give me fair and equal treatment. Do I want it in that manner, or do I want it in somebody's heart? So what I'm saying is, for the manner that I say you can get married, really is the dismissive manner that this country does black people. Meaning, I'm going, I don't give a fuck. Right. Get married, but okay, do I want white people to go, man, this was wrong. Yes.
Sure.
So what? Gay people probably want to go, you should be able to love who you want, which I am with. But I'm saying for me to be with you on a civil rights thing, you have to be more compelling than I want to love. I want to put it this way. If it's practical, like, hey, I just want to have the same opportunities as this, fuck yeah. But if you're going to, just like I can't make a white guy feel that he's not superior to me because he's white. I can't make him.
But the
feel
more
that.
gay people, the same thing with race is, you have to legislate certain things. And once you don't feel the whole country is saying, as a government, you're wrong for being gay. And in a way, it feels like they are. And the church is saying it. When those organizations are not saying it, and all of a sudden, you go, again, it's generational. You go 150 years from now, and fucking gays have been adopted and living, and because we all have gay people in our family.
President.
Well, maybe. Well, look, we've already had a gay governor, and I'm sure we've had more than that.
Bonnie Frank and openly gay priests, and
what I'm saying is, as time goes on and people get used to it and live with each other and have life experiences with each other.
So you think that will ultimately be the internal change?
Yes, but it happens over a long period of time.
But that ain't happening in our lifetime.
No, it's a sign of us being primitive.
It's just like Tiger Woods when he first won his thing. It's like, okay, it's like, here's my thing. Here's what
you think he's still dealing with racism?
Yeah.
In that sport?
Yeah, because
in what way?
Just not outward, I don't think.
Let me
kind of going with some of the things you said today. Wow, Tiger Woods, black guy, winning it all. Like, what the fuck is this?
Fuzzy Zeller
and then a bunch of years go by. I know the Fuzzy Zeller thing, but a bunch of years go by now. It's like I don't see people really feeling the same way toward Tiger. In general, there'll always be exceptions to the rule.
Because I think it's just like the whole thing with the Celtics and all black guys. I think ultimately you want to win, and I think if Obama does a spectacular job.
But no one really wants Tiger to win for any reason that...
I think...
Like, you want your sports team to win because you live in that city, but Tiger Woods, why would I want Tiger to win?
I think the dominance...
I love seeing him win because I love seeing someone that great in their sport, and that's why I root for Tiger.
But there is something about a black guy dominating a white sport, in the sense that you understand the historical relevance of it, even though we don't always speak it. There is a historical relevance for a sport that has historically been one way. And then this guy comes along, and he's not average. He might be the best that ever played it, at least professionally.
Right.
There is something very compelling about putting those things together.
I just don't. I'm a huge golf fan. I do not watch I swear to you, Patrice, because you'll probably question me on this. I don't see color when I see Tiger Woods anymore.
I believe
I love seeing someone that is that much better than everyone else. And like Muhammad Ali was that much better than everyone else. You wanted to see him beat everybody.
I believe you, dude. I do. I absolutely.
And am I the exception?
No. I believe this is the thing. It's
at first, sure. I was like, wow, what? These black fucking dominating golf? This is crazy.
You feel powerless.
But that's years ago now.
You feel powerless. This is what I mean in terms of relating to the gay issue. As a black person, I feel like it's almost like it's the hypothetical question. It's powerless. It's like you go, here's how I'm free, or here's how Tiger Woods plays golf. Niggas can't play golf. Okay, niggas can. It's by the stroke of a pen. Niggas are free. Niggas ain't. It's like it doesn't feel like there's ever really. It's still that this country has the power to the idea that someone has to fight and die to get rights from people. It seems it's something unfucked up about it. Like that gays, this shouldn't even be an argument. This should be like, I don't agree with guys, fucking guys, but I do love to see lesbians, fucking lesbians. And then, about another person going, all right, gays get married. It's something wrong about that. That's what I'm saying. It's like just because the pen changes it, you're forced. As a person that wants to feel a certain way about another people, you're forced to be fake agreeable to it. And I don't know if fake agreeable adds up to real agreeable.
Yes, I think in not all cases, and again, not in a one lifetime thing, but fake agreeable, at worst case scenario, stops people from fucking with you. At worst case scenario, all right, they hate me, but I can live my life. And if they do something to interfere with my life because of who I am, I have a fucking recourse, a legal recourse, which I'm promised anyway in the fucking Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. if, as time goes on, most human experience is that the more you interact with people, and as people get on, the way they feel changes because of their own personal experience. But first and foremost, you have to have someone put a stop to it. Go, all right, stop. This has to happen this way. You can get married. You can do what you want. And then as all of a sudden, your kids grow up with some fucking kids that are gay parents. And you go, well, he was a nice boy. I liked him a lot. And my son played very well together. I like those parents. My kid would go over there and stay over. And they were really wonderful people. And they took him camping. All these things that you're afraid of, when you live through them and you see, oh, yeah, that was baseless. As time goes on, and again, it's unfortunate for us, it's a long fucking process. But as that happens, you look at it and go, wow, I was afraid of nothing. Because interracial relationships, there's still plenty of people that frown on them. But look at where that was 50 years ago, and look at how people look at that now. It's again.
I love the point Norton's making today.
Can you imagine?
I love it.
I'm not with Norton, but here's the thing that ultimately, and it goes with the gay thing and the black thing, is how you feel.
Yeah.
16, 19, I believe. 16, 19, I'm very close, is when slavery officially started. So you go 17, 19, 18, 19, 20 years, 19, 19, 30, you go 400 years, man. And up until then, you could be as fucked up as you want to be as a white person to a black person up until yesterday. So for 500 years, you're going to tell me... 389 years, 400 years, that the feelings in this country have changed since Jim Crow, which was in 1950, 1960. The feelings in this country were changing before then.
Absolutely.
They were changing before then. Don't forget, after a certain point, they wanted to keep slaves for economic reasons. But then the feeling, a lot of the country was split. Like, there was a lot of people feeling this is horrible, and this is in a time where it was acceptable.
Enough, yeah.
And it was changing.
White abolitionists, man, white people, but look at the civil rights movement. The turning point to that movement where the FBI got involved on a PR level is when that white woman from Detroit who was driving, I forgot her name, she was driving black people back and forth from Alabama to, but she was driving black people to vote.
Right.
They shot her. When that white woman died, then Lyndon B. Johnson kind of was like, hey, straighten these motherfuckers out, man. But you can't just be shooting white women helping black people out. So ultimately, it took her to have something bad happen for that thing to change. But ultimately, I think in this country, and not for you and not for Opie, right. I'm talking about as this country, and you got the country, that it never has looked at it as wrong. It's always been, I better not do that because of what it can cost me.
I think the percentage of people that look at it like you're saying is much smaller than you think. I think the fact that most people feel a certain... You're not giving people credit...
Anthony said that on the radio, by the way. Anthony said that it was a black guy that called in, and Anthony goes, look, I got in trouble for saying something at work. He goes, look, man, Anthony goes, if a white guy says something at work, we're going to get fired. That's why we don't say things like that. Anthony is to me, he's speaking, because the guy is a smart fucking guy, and he's speaking to his gut, and he's speaking to how... Have you ever read something called the Willie Lynch papers?
Hold on. You can't just...
Hold on. Yeah, freedom of language at work is different.
And most people probably think that way.
Yeah, it's not just with that. It's with anything.
We're not learning these huge moral lessons that you think, Patrice.
That's the problem.
And but it's not a white thing. I think it's human beings don't learn these huge moral things.
But just like I'm saying about
they stop doing things because, oh wow, this is hurting me. But they're not thinking, okay, now I understand.
Exactly. It's not a malicious thing.
They don't think right or wrong a lot of times.
It's not a malicious thing. That's why I keep prefacing this shit. Yeah. It's not just an insidious guy. It's not the white people are sitting there.
Right, yeah, no.
I'm not saying that. It's a condition that just the fact that I refer to you as white and you refer to me as black is what this country is. Look, Asians...
But if it wasn't that, it would be big and small. It's always the most obvious thing.
Wait a minute. Asians in this country, Asians to other Asians, Latinos to other... We are the only group who bond together by our color. And that's why I brought up the thing about Obama and he's African, is that we bond with him for his color. But Latinos do you realize the war with Latinos?
Oh, yeah.
Puerto Ricans are hated by Mexicans, Cubans. They don't consider themselves fucking us. Asians don't consider themselves us.
But the other thing with the Asians and the Puerto Ricans is they have a difference in language. And I know Black Africans did, I know the Irish did, but white people and black people for a very, very long time in this country have shared language. Whereas when you look at Asia, there is that one weird thing that separates. Most Spanish people in their house speak one language and outside, or speak both. There is a cultural connection that they have. Which
no, not each other. Mexicans.
No. Spanish to Spanish, Asian to Asian.
They don't like each other.
Right, no, I know.
Japanese and Chinese are two different languages.
Yes, completely.
And they hate each other.
Yeah.
But this country wants to desperately look at them
all Asian.
All Asian.
Well, they all
and
are
they're
Asian.
not having it.
But they are all Asian in the sense that anyone with a certain dark skin tone is black, and anyone with a certain skin tone is white. You do lump people in by appearance. It's like when you say someone's Latin, from Latin America. That covers a lot of Spanish people, some of who hate each other. But most Spanish people, a Dominican, a Puerto Rican, or a Cuban,
and they don't join into this. They don't join in together in this country for to have some type of silent war. Black people and white people are the only people in this country who band together, who actually have nothing to do with the history of why we hate each other. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, my father's from Barbados. I really don't have anything to do with slavery, but I'm black. It's like, it's an automatic, inherited kind of fucked up feeling. And I didn't make it up.
You should be flattered. We don't pay attention to any other groups like we do the blacks.
Oh, yeah, we are the #1 oppressed, nigga.
You should be flattered.
I don't want nobody trying to take our oppression from us.
Isn't there racism within the black community depending on what color?
Uncle Tomness, it's not color, no.
Light skin?
No.
Some are looked down upon because they are light skinned.
Yeah, but that...
I know that it was happening in South Africa.
Willie Lynch papers.
But is that not happening or what?
Not as much as it was, but it is like that. Fuck that. It's like the School Days thing with Spike Lee. You know, the wannabes and the jigaboos. That old black bitch. Oh, look at that. She got good hair. And it's all from fucking slavery, Opie.
Right.
It's big. It's a fucking big deal that we don't even know what the big deal is.
But again, if it wasn't slavery, maybe it is in this case. But over in Africa, it's tribal. Or over somewhere else, it's something. There's always a reason why people are going to fucking infight. Like, again, when you look at, I don't know enough about African tribes, but I know that when one tribe would conquer another, they would enslave the tribe. And I know it wasn't the total degradation that they suffered at the hands of Europeans, the total removal of everything. But it was still, we're murdering you and enslaving you. It wasn't polite.
But they probably removed a lot of their... being.
Of course, but I'm saying it wasn't as probably not as dehumanizing as what happened here.
Here's the thing. It's like, okay, you can do two things. One, you can be completely focused. See, that's the thing I love about the white experience is that you can be completely focused on you. Meaning, you don't have to defend anything white. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's just like, hey, this is my issue. You don't have to take up. If a white guy does some dumb shit, all you have to do is go look at that dumb motherfucker. You don't have to associate with him. My thing is, I would love to get to a point where, okay, I got two choices. One, I completely just focus on me and do what I can to do the best for me and not think about blackness at all. Just not think about it. Just take it all as, hey, officer, you're doing your job. If I could think like that, life would be easier in my gut. But ultimately, if you think for a minute about the plight of a people, you know what I mean, and how people are presented to the world, you can't help but be fucking upset. It's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, look at the stereotype. And I always bring Jews back because they have the only plight that is close. You know what I mean? Like gays, there wasn't like all gay slaves at some point in this world. So it's like Jews their stereotype is they own the banks, the media, they rule the world. They're bastards running the puppet strings. For a people to had upgraded themselves, pulled themselves up to the level of that's their stereotype. I just want to have a goddamn decent stereotype as a nigga. I want to have a stereotype like
big dick.
You got it. Thanks.
The intellectual one, I think.
Thanks for my big dick that I don't have. If that was one, you know what I'm saying? But I watch a lot of porn, and there's some giant white dicks floating around this planet.
Goddamn right there are.
Giant.
Yeah, goddamn right.
So it's ultimately, it's an opportunity for me, because there are some unspectacular, boring, mediocre black people out there.
Yes, I'm sitting next to one.
Come on, folks. So,
you got some good positive stereotypes, though.
Name 30.
It's all slavery. It's all cracker fear.
It's all physical stuff.
Yeah. Run fast, jump high.
Well, what's wrong with that?
And again, here's another thing that fucks up is the gender line, because America don't give a fuck about black women. Black women don't scare America. Y'all love sassy black flip mouth black women.
I don't know.
Oh, Lord Jesus, watch out. Give me a break. I should be. Chief, you a crazy motherfucker, Chief. Hey, Florence, get your big head out of here. They love, you never see a fucking, that's why Obama's so wonderful to people, is that it's a black man in that position, because America never fucks with because you're afraid that we gonna get some type of goddamn Negro revenge.
I'm more afraid of Michelle Obama than Barack.
Why?
I don't know.
You love Michelle Obama. She crazy.
No. Michelle Obama's not like she crazy. Michelle Obama seems very radical, and I know Barack's much more radical than he lets on.
Sure.
They sat.
Yeah, look at his wife.
Which is fine, but they sat in church with fucking Jeremiah Wright for 20 years. They knew it, and I'm actually fine with it. And I can't take them to task for that any more than I can take Bush or anybody else for sitting there believing that Christ pushed a big rock out of the way. It's like, if you're going to call people, if you want to call people's religious...
don't believe in dinosaurs. Anybody that doesn't believe in dinosaurs is unreasonable.
You're a fool.
I don't want to talk to you.
You're a blithering idiot if you don't believe in dinosaurs.
You don't believe in dinosaurs, you fucking asshole?
You're a fool.
That's always a tough conversation to have with somebody. Hey, you don't believe in dinosaurs?
What are you, a dick?
Let's at least agree there were dinosaurs. Can we agree on anything? We're not going to agree there were dinosaurs?
Fucking dinosaurs? You think...
Holy shit.
There's a plot. That's what I'm saying about Jeremiah Wright. He goes, AIDS was invented by, or HIV was invented by the government. And people go, oh, God, this is crazy. And I'm like, well, possibly. But do I believe it? No. But possibly. But you're going to say that the government couldn't invent... They invented a paranoia or a plot to make you convinced that HIV doesn't exist, but they also are up to trying to make me believe there's dinosaurs. Like, what is the plot to why I should believe in dinosaurs? Who the fuck why would you invent that dinosaurs lived?
They don't disagree with dinosaurs living. They disagree with carbon dating. They understand
They think
the dinosaurs are real.
Okay.
They just think the carbon dating was wrong because they're blithering fucking idiots.
And then what's the carbon dating?
Carbon dating says they're here. The truth,
how old something
60
is.
million years ago, and which destroys the literal biblical idiocy they're living with.
So wait, so the dinosaurs were here,
6,000 years, with people, too.
Yeah.
They think the dinosaurs and people coexisted. They acknowledge dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs existed how long ago, Jimmy? Like six...
Well, the Jurassic area was 60 million. I mean,
I know that, but what they're saying is just a mere
6,000 years, yes.
A few thousand years ago,
All
dinosaurs and humans walking.
Dinosaurs and Pontius Pilate
and
were just
the whole,
relaxing
yes,
together.
and Christ was
but
writing
the whole
one, yes.
Dinosaurs living millions of years ago is insane.
Yes.
That's what they think.
Because they don't acknowledge evolution.
Yes. And that's the argument that I just can't have with people.
Unreasonable.
I don't even feel like going down that road.
I'm a reasonable guy. Like, if we go back to the gay thing, I don't want gay people to think I'm fucking... I just go, please give me a convincing argument to make me go, you know what, that's very, very fair.
And that's how you know it's been a long morning, when Patrice O'Neal says, I'm a reasonable guy.
I'm reasonable.
Who are you trying to kid?
I'm not a
reasonable. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. It really is. It's been a 4-hour temper tantrum.
Yeah. Jesus.
You cocksucking motherfuckers.
Anything else you want to get off your chest while we're here as your punching bags?
This 5 hours is
exhausting.
Anthony.
But he's different. Anthony
refilmed Birth of a Nation 6 times.
I love Anthony, but I am watching my friend
unravel.
He's coming apart at the seams. He's coming apart.
Every day.
At the seams.
You motherfuckers, Patrice is... What?
You're very unreasonable. But Anthony's coming apart. Anthony's almost beyond help.
Patrice.
You're still within the realm of help. Anthony is unhelpable. Anthony will only be helped.
And that's what white people want. Turn the other cheek, Negroes. That's
No.
shit.
Ant's making a good point about. Jimmy's making a good point about Ant.
No, I'm talking about Anthony. I'm saying that you're still salvageable as a person. Anthony.
I don't want to be salvageable as long as Anthony's around.
Anthony's going to come out of it someday in a psychiatric hospital, mumbling something racist, and even people who are like his family are going to go, "You're taking it too far."
And this is beyond taxes. It's bullshit.
Do you understand? We're doing a radio show with the next "I'm mad as hell" and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah,
guys.
it's fucking.
How great is this for us?
Absolutely, he's fucking
this is
Peter
network,
Finch.
Man.
He really is going to walk.
We're living network. This is exciting.
Except he's not going to inspire anybody to do anything.
Right.
Yes, he is.
No. Anthony's not a mean dude.
He's going to inspire some psychopath garbage man to
all right, calm down now.
Now, Anthony's only expressing anger and stuff, but Anthony's not a mean dude. And there's nothing mean about what Anthony's saying.
No, I'm not saying he's going to inspire.
He expresses what a lot of people are thinking.
I have to piss badly.
So? Why, when I'm saying it, I'm fucking crazy?
Because you're black.
I don't think you're crazy. It's a black thing.
Well, thank you for being honest. Shit. At least I get that from you motherfuckers.
All right, we're going to take a break. I don't know. The sex thing. We could do that. Got a pastor preaching 7 days of sex.
What are the people we have phones and people have been holding on for hours.
We got John, Connecticut. At least our hatred for gays can bring races together. We got Rich in Connecticut. How can anyone believe people and dinosaurs existed together? Pat in Belmore. Religious freaks also say God put dinosaur bones here to test our faith.
Oh, my God. Does somebody actually say that and nod?
Religious freaks do.
How dumb are people? And you wonder why we have problems in this country.
Because motherfuckers are stupid.
But it's like, how do you expect to work out?
I would never argue with a religious freak. I can't be bothered. I could argue with you all day, Patrice.
Because they're based in a faith.
I can't be bothered.
There's no prejudice. There's not many prejudices that are as unshakable as a religious person's faith. Because when you argue religion with somebody and you can hear how they're so rooted in it, it's because they were raised from day one thinking that. And to fucking shake them from that is this admission that everything has been just nonsense. All those hours I wasted?
Yeah. Let's go to Chris in Florida.
Am I that big of an idiot?
Chris in Florida writes, gays just want equal protection under the law. This guy...
I said that!
In Arizona, he says he's gay. We're up against church-funded psychos who want to block our rights. His marriage is a church issue. Keep it out of government.
No, it's not. The courts are not done by the church.
Right.
And the courts are the church isn't doing divorces, okay? The fucking courts are.
Marriage is not a total church thing.
Of course it's not.
And if black people bond so much, why is there so much black on black crime?
We don't bond so much. That's what I'm saying. It's the statement that he hasn't been listening to anything.
And a lot of people would say that was a certain a self-hatred of the black community, which was put there because of all the years of mistreatment, that now people just start attacking each other. I mean, that's what some people would say. I would not be one of those people.
Are we...
actually would kind of...
Any of these guys you want to talk to, or just clear the line stuff?
I wouldn't mind talking to one of the gay guys. We don't get a lot of gay calls.
Yeah, I
do want to pee first.
I want to hear a reasonable...
All right, what's your name,
sir?
Man.
I'll be right back.
Arizona.
This is Dan. What's up?
Hey, Dan. What do you got today?
The cocksucker.
I just want... Yes, the cocksucker. I just wanted to say, there was some recent propositions in California, Arizona, and there was at least 5-to-1 funding from Mormon organizations, the church organizations, to put propaganda on the TV, on everywhere, just to get their churchy little agenda passed, which is discriminatory, and also, it's not illegal to fire somebody if they're gay. If they're gay, you can fire them, and there's no legal recourse.
So what is it? But okay, my thing is, and this is where I sound like a fucking asshole, is look, I agree. What do you want all these things to change just by the stroke of a pen? And okay, you can't get fired because you're gay, or would you love to have just a feeling that everybody really did? They just don't care. You can do what you want. That, hey, how are you? Hey, I'm gay. I'm not gay. You don't feel the need to ever have to visit your gayness. You know what I'm saying? Or do you just want it by the pen?
In a utopian society, sure, that would be great. But you know what? The money talks here. And if you have funding from these gigantic church corporations funding their agenda,
they're going to win.
And what do gays actually want? What is what they're fighting for? What is Proposition 8 really for?
We want the ability to be able to protect our spouses, for lack of a better term, right now. You know,
can you do that with wills? Can't you do that with wills and law? Like, if something happens, you can just, you know, hey, if something happens to me, you get this, and you know.
I think it's similar things that you can do, but it's not.
Yeah, they want day-to-day stuff too, Patrice.
But only if you have a will.
What?
Like if your partner, I guess, is in the hospital, you can't even fucking visit them.
I think you can.
You can, but if there's no will, like if you're guys who live together and there's no will. Let's just say there's not a will. The spouse won't get it. It'll be the fucking family. You know what I mean? It's like
you want like basic stuff. You want to bring your partner to, let's say, a Christmas party without people now looking at you differently.
And they're gonna look at you differently.
I understand that, but they want to start somewhere.
And how about this? The right to make medical decisions. Like if
that's the one I'm mostly talking about. Yeah, your partner's in the hospital, and you're like, well, I know what he would want. You have no say in that.
So
shit.
Is that the issue, sir? Is that, or ma'am? I'm sorry.
All of it, right?
I think it's more like day-to-day stuff, right?
Well, no,
acceptance.
It's really the legal stuff. Acceptance is what's going to happen from the people.
You don't want to be.
It's not going to happen through the legal system. But just going also to a point Patrice made, which is, you know, you guys got to stop comparing us to the black plight. And I agree. You know, it's not the exact same thing. I don't think gays should be saying, oh, we're in the exact same position as blacks were years ago, because we're not. You know, we're not discriminated against quite as badly, but there still is definitely discrimination there.
And I'm agreeing. I'm just saying that you're not. If talking about platforms and how people respond to different things, you cannot make me join you on the platform of just, hey man, I want to be able to. This guy I love, I want to be able to decide whether his organs get to go. I want to be able to be a family member. I want to love him and get the same rights from loving him as anyone else does. But to say it's a civil rights thing in terms of comparing it to what we went through, which is, it's just not a choice. Like if you ask a black person, there might be black people that go, you know, I don't want to be black. Like, for real.
I agree with you, and the only thing I can say is I don't know. Can I suck your dick to change it?
I was gonna say you sound like a reasonable gay guy. Like this, here's the gay guy that needs to be the gay spokesman. But that's just like the difference is, like, okay, Jesse Jackson, who is the black spokesman, but he's black. Like he's super black.
Right.
So it's like he's James Brown black. But it's like gay people. When people think of gay, they don't think of this fucking guy. Like,
let me try to bring some comedy back into the show, because it's been about 4 hours. Thank you, Sarah. So if Jesse Jackson is the black spokesperson for the black people, who would his equivalent be in the gay community? Would it be very
Harvey Firestein?
Exactly.
That's
what I'm getting at.
We want to just. We want the right to love. Shut up, sissy.
That's what I'm getting at.
Like, you know, if there was a Republican, straight-laced Republican lesbian,
right,
who you go, oh shit,
looked the lesbian? Yeah.
No, like.
Sarah Palin lesbian?
If Sarah Palin
was a lesbian.
Or perhaps if Condoleezza Rice was one.
Yes. But Ellen's one. Ellen is the spokeswoman. She looks like Opie. If I
used to have the same hair as her too.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Pathetic.
Like, what the fuck? This is like, why am I watching this bull be the spokesman for gayness? If it's just like somebody like this dude is reasonable. And he's not going, you know, it's not you don't even feel sexual from this dude. It's just like, dude, here's what we want, and this is how we feel.
Well, you're basically,
and there's no emotional, like, thing that I have to be tied to. And I go, you know, hey, I'm with you, motherfucker.
You want the reasonable, straight-sounding gay guy, like a lot of white people.
I'll respond to that.
A lot of white people respond to the white-sounding black guy.
Absolutely.
Who Obama is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Obama's a fucking Harvard guy, though. Him and his wife are Harvard lawyers.
Chris Rock's, I don't know it word for word, but Chris Rock's bit about how, you know, he does that whole Flavor Flav comparison.
He's right, too.
Yeah.
He was like the first black whatever of the Harvard Review. I mean, he lives a life I don't relate to either.
No.
But we're dealing with feelings based on how people are gonna make you feel better. And
oh, by the way, Stephen S. from Bayshore, the gay equivalent to Jesse Jackson, we found one worse. Rip Torn.
Charles Nelson Riley.
I'm sorry, Rip Taylor. Rip Torn. Rip Taylor.
But nobody.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn, right. There you
go. Nobody wants to be the object of ridicule, right? Nobody. But you understand intuitively that we can't legislate that. We understand that we can't make people not like us or dislike us. But the things that we can control, which is like that guy said, wanting equal protection under the law, I think people are very, very justified in wanting that and demanding it. People shouldn't have to ask for that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And my thing is not society now. It's not. If you didn't learn history, if it's possible to get rid of history, it wouldn't be a problem. Like, do people think that fucking Indians feel better because they have casinos now? Like, them motherfuckers are footnotes in history. This country
conquered them.
All right, so we'll get you guys some casinos.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll be a little happier.
The casinos made it a little easier.
It did, but if you ask an Indian, they're not going to go, feel better.
Hey, they were, in fairness, they were conquered.
What?
The Indians were conquered. It was like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it is what it is. They were it was a hostile takeover. As far as them being fucked, it was a conquering.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it's different.
How about we get a few black casinos?
I'm sure black people would be happy.
Because we really need, like, some kind of, like, solution.
As it is now, we're not ready for that.
A solution.
We're not ready for no black casinos. Motherfuckers stealing and robbing them, robbing their own casinos.
There's no machines. Everyone's playing dice.
Everybody unplugs. Motherfuckers unplugging the cameras so they can cheating at dice. Get the fuck out of here. We're not ready for that shit.
That's hilarious. We're getting ready to play What Did We Learn on the Opie and Anthony Show. This show flew by. Well, we do have this pastor. This is a pretty good story. Could get to it real fast. Ooh, a juicy apple. We got a Texas pastor who
It's a little mealier than I like. I like a crisper Fuji apple.
Listen to this.
The setting looks a lot more like a rock concert than a church. And the sermon isn't what you might be used to hearing.
God is pro-sex. He thought it up. It was his idea, and he wants those of us who have said, I do, to do it.
Pastor Ed Young of the Fellowship Church in Dallas made headlines last week by calling on married couples to have sex every day for a week. That challenge started Sunday and runs to next week.
You show me someone's sex life, and I'll show you the temperature, the tone, and the tenor of their relationship.
Young's non-denominational church has a congregation of 20,000. The media attention has given Young's challenge far greater power.
And it's a topic that we can talk about with our friends who are non-Christians, and they're intrigued that the church is willing to talk about it.
The church is getting attention for themselves. It's so obvious. This guy, shut up.
But he's married, though. Which the fact that priests are stuck with their dicks in their pants is why it's become a fucking haven for fucking the people it's become a haven for. It's because those fucking dumb motherfuckers won't let the Catholic priest marry. Those outdated motherfuckers.
I was asking questions about that the other day with somebody. I'm like, all right, so you're a priest. You have the feelings. Sex is wrong? Like, what is the actual thought on this? Because now it's a physical thing too. You got to get, as we like to joke on the show, the poison out. So the priests have to get the poison out.
Well, you know, Stuntbrain was
saying...
Do
they jerk off and it's like you're taking your morning vitamin? Like, what is it?
They fight and then they lose and then they hide it. Like everybody else...
I'm not even talking about all the shit that went wrong. I'm talking about the Joe Priest.
Mm-hmm.
He's decided a life of celibacy, right? But he still has the poison in him. Like, what is that all about?
He prays and beats himself on the back with something.
But the shit has to come out. Like, do we have any priests that listen to the show? I doubt it. Or maybe that someone knows this. Do they wait for the wet dreams? Are they jerking off but acknowledging that this is just something I have to do physically?
It doesn't have to come out. They pray it away, like you said, or they fight the urge, or they put the energy into something else. It doesn't have to come out. It stays in.
What about the old sperm? Because jerking off, quite frankly, for us is like a period for women. We got to get that old nut out.
Right.
I'm sure
but the priests feel that way too.
Dude, they jerk off. They fuck kids sometimes. I'm not. So they jerk their dick.
But I'm not even.
They do. And they apologize to God.
I'm talking about the guys that are playing by all the rules, not the fucking pedos.
He prays for strength. And some win and some don't.
So that's crazy.
He prays God. And sometimes...
Don't you have to, like, it builds up in you and you have to get...
Don't you ever jerk off and you... I jerk off sometimes and I jerk off sometimes and it's not even sexual. It's just like,
yes,
I better do this. Like, I better get it out the way. So ultimately, sometimes I go, oh, damn. Like, have you ever had anything you done? What's the moment in your life where you felt creepy? Where you went, oh my God, I just crossed over to something
Do you mean like after you've come? And I'm just guessing. No. Do you mean after you've come and you have hydrogen peroxide in your mouth because you have shit in your mouth? Like, I mean, would it be a moment like that? I don't know.
The first time you did that, like I've done creepier shit than this, but I remember this is when I felt creepy and I fought it. I jerked off in a Pete booth in New York. The first time I jerked off in a Pete booth in public in a booth, I felt
dirty.
I felt like a dirty. I felt like a motherfucker that, like a flasher, or I felt like a piece of shit.
See, I felt like I was born when that happened. That never bothered me. I felt like a caveman when he first sees the sun.
Getting ready for What Did We Learn on the Opie and Anthony Show? Second part of the sex story with the pastor.
Young delivered his sermon in front of a bed that he said represented marriage. Stanchions around the bed represented barriers like kids and career.
And if we aren't happy together, if our relationship is damaged in any way, we can't give it back to our kids. We can't pass it down to the people we're around.
And while Young says the church has historically been silent on sex, he says sex in the context of marriage should be talked about.
It's a God-given thing that he gave us, and only the world's view of it has distorted it.
We'll see next week, but I think it can only help us and strengthen our relationship. So we'll definitely see, 7 days, it's a challenge, so I'm up to it.
We'll know in a week if the challenge worked.
Challenge, shut up. Just getting attention for that particular church. Hey,
did you get some?
Yeah, that was a bad one. We were supposed to do Raisin Bran Monday, but
I'm so happy.
We're supposed to do the complete opposite show than we're doing today.
I was cutting a couple of hot, juicy ones, and I fanned them over, and it was fucking great. It was like an aerial view of watching the troops. So all I had to do was I just watched his nose crinkle up.
A true crop dusting.
That ain't good. You sick.
Hey, Jim in Wayne, New Jersey.
Priest
friend of mine. Yeah, I don't know who to believe. Priest friend of mine. No, they have porn. They jerk off.
Again, some do.
I really want to know the answer to this.
You meant the ones who don't give into it, right? Like you're talking about the ones that don't jerk off, which a lot of them don't. I'm sure some of them obey the rules.
What is the rule of the church if you're trying to be like
sin to masturbate? Of course, it's a sin. It's a
all
sin.
Of that sexual shit.
They're awful. They're repressed, and it's dishonest and outdated and awful.
God would understand. He's a human fucking
You think Christ
being.
cared if people jerked off?
understands everything that happens on earth.
Christ watched a leper's tootsies. He doesn't care if people are fucking whacking their bags.
If we murdered each other like a lion murders antelope, it wouldn't be a sin. It's a sin because we created the idea that God and evil and good and the devil. If I ate a motherfucker and I hunted him down because I was hungry, that shit is not. That shit ain't a sin. It ain't a fucking sin.
That's right.
Fast Freddy starts it. I learned today Patrice is scared of the reindeer on the Merritt Parkway. That goofy fuck.
The Merritt's scary, man.
I think we went too local, but that road is fucking scary, especially at night.
It gets you to Boston very fast.
I know. It's the shortest way, pretty much, but that is a scary fucking road.
You want the stinger?
Yeah. Oh, we have the stinger? The brand new stinger for What Did We Learn on the Opie and Anthony Show?
Here comes. What did we learn? What did we learn? I like it. It's got style. It's got pizzazz.
It's awesome.
It's melodic.
People are like arguing, line of the day, what did we learn? We're just changing it up, that's all.
Just do both.
We'll go back to line of the day.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
No worries. Also, I'm going to go to Whackbag. I want to see what the listeners would vote their top 5 comedians. I think it's pretty much going to be Pryor, Carlin, Lenny
Norton.
Bruce, the more you think about it.
Shouldn't be Lenny, though. It should be Pryor, Carlin.
But we'll see what they, Don't let us influence you. Just name your top 5 comedians. Let's get a poll going. I really want to see what the listeners would put at number 3.
And I'm kidding. Don't put Norton, because that would only disgust Patrice and Voss and Colin.
And it would wreck our whole fucking poll.
No, I was saying that I think it would be a very legitimate choice.
Yeah.
Sure.
The fact that you said go to Whack Bag and ask that. You think they're going to have Pryor and Carlin? They're not going to have Pryor and Carlin.
Yes, they will, dude. Sure they will.
If they're being honest.
You got to believe.
They love those guys. Pryor and Carlin they're not that, Carlin more so just because he performed up until like last year, whereas Pryor kind of stopped in '83. And it was harder for Pryor because so many people have stolen his shit since him. People who like Pryor stuff, like when you listen to it, it doesn't hit you the same way because socially the country has changed. And a lot of people who grew up not watching Pryor, who grew up, say, starting with Murphy and guys after him, then see Pryor afterwards. And it's like, oh, the black thing. They're not seeing, they've seen the carbon copies before they've seen the original. Which is it's like people who watch the American Office before they watch the British Office. A lot of them will enjoy the American Office and think, oh, the British one, instead of understanding the British one.
British
was the
way
beauty.
better, but they're 2 different shows now.
Yeah.
I like the American Office, but I don't compare the 2 anymore. Adam in Detroit, today I learned that the Indians were XM and the white man was Sirius. That's pretty good, actually.
It's a damn good point.
You know what? I got to say, I spent most of the weekend just spinning around the old dial. The old satellite radio dial. We got some fine choices through this merger.
I fucking did the same thing.
Say that.
Yep.
Some of the DJs got to shut the fuck up and stop acting like regular radio guys, because that's not what this whole thing's about. You have to look down and go, oh, that's right, I'm listening to satellite. Because some of these guys are acting like they did in the regular radio world. You don't have to do that shit.
Yeah,
another fart going.
I did the same thing, and I was.
Hair Nation is. I love Hair Nation.
I like Boneyard better than Hair Nation.
I love
I'm a Boneyard
Hair Nation.
person.
First Wave is way better than Fred ever was.
I never heard Fred.
It's just all that new wave stuff. They play a lot more. They play more hits, which I don't mind because regular radio's not really focusing on a new wave for the most part. They'll do an hour here and there.
Channel 18.
What's 18?
Elvis.
Oh, the Elvis channel?
I don't love the AC/DC channel or the Zeppelin one. I like both of those bands,
channel.
But I don't think that they have the catalogs that Elvis did as far as the amount of different shit you could play.
You have to pay for this?
No, because the merger, like, you know, they just gave you more choices.
I love
they really
it.
did. I mean,
just right
some
now,
of my favorite
if you got
channels.
XM radio, these are things you have. You
Yeah, they got
to.
like they got the Jimmy Buffett channel. I'm not a huge fan, but
Margaritaville, yeah, it's good.
But I checked it out, and in between doing Buffett songs, they had a cool Allman Brothers channel. Like, right on, man.
One thing they got to do, which is dumb that they haven't figured this out, and this might have something to do with free subs in cars. I don't know, but we can't get, if you're an employee, we have a free account because we're employees.
Right.
We can't get like Howard 100 or any of these other ones that they're promoting, like that are pay channels, like football, and a lot of the serious employees might not be able to get Opie. It's like,
that's just
we're
stupid.
the guys, it's just, well, it's an oversight. We're the guys you should be giving it to for free because we can talk about it. And I can't report on Howard 100 or I can't report on fucking the NFL, their coverage on Sirius because I can't hear it.
And we try to get it, and they're like, yeah, pay for it. Like, what?
It's
We're
like,
the ones that are going to be pushing this out for
It's
you.
like you should be smart
They want us to read
business-wise.
promos about how great it is. How about you give it to us for free?
I've
so
never
we can
heard them.
So we can listen, because here we are doing a little set on the changes, and we can't comment about Martha, Howard, and
Any of them, because
all
I have
that
not
stuff.
heard their
NASCAR.
channels.
I haven't heard NASCAR radio in, fuck, how long now?
Couple
2
years. They should figure out a way
We
to
have
do
to
that.
just sit here and go, it's great. I don't know if it's great. You know? I can tell you that Hair Nation, I'm loving. First Wave, I'm loving. Margaritaville, when they're not shoving Buffett down your throat. AC/DC, not so much. The Zeppelin thing, great. Classic Rewind is a pretty solid channel.
That Elvis channel is fucking great.
What else do they do on the Elvis channel, though?
All I heard was Elvis.
Really?
Yeah.
They got to throw in some other stuff, though. They
Nah.
usually do. Just
Yeah,
a little-
probably, but
mix it up a little bit. All right. Let's say hi to Chris in Connecticut. We're playing What Did We Learn on the Opie and Anthony Show? Sans Anthony today.
Ooh.
He'll be back tomorrow, and I'm sure he didn't listen today, so he'll have nothing to say about today's show. What do you got, Chris?
Yeah, I learned today that slavery is impolite.
Yeah, slavery is impolite, Patrice?
I would say it's just quite
Hannibal Lecter would say it was discourteous.
It could have been a little more tickly.
Miggs threw cum in her hair, and all he said was, discourtesy is unspeakably ugly to me.
Unspeakably.
He considered that discourteous
right.
to throw a crazy man load into the hair of a girl.
I would love to talk somebody to death.
I would too. Well, I'm sure you have and don't even know it.
Look at that. Look at Opie's like, oh, nigga, I'm about to die.
No, I got some shit to do. That's all.
What do you got to do?
I would love to stay.
Wedding stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
Opie, the new Liquid Metal sucks. I haven't checked out Liquid Metal.
Hey, Opie,
they brought in all the serious DJs and they play a lot of shitty radio metal.
I want Boneyard and Eddie Trunk.
Are you not doing the do so that your honeymoon could be explosive?
What?
Oh, I think he's saying that you kind of hold off on sex on the honeymoon. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So the honeymoon
so the honeymoon is spectacular.
It's always explosive.
Talk to me, man.
It's always explosive. We're living our lives.
Really?
Yes.
You want the honeymoon to be like bow bam?
Well, yeah, it will be. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
What? I should have held out.
I mean, y'all been together a while. I know if I marry my girl, I have to like not do it for at least 2 weeks before the wedding, just so it can be
with you?
Fantastic.
Dude, 4+ years, it's you know, when I talk like this, people, whatever. It's explosive every time. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing.
Every time?
I never even thought twice that I'd have to hold
2-3 times a week. 2-3 times.
It's amazing.
I'm saying 2-3 times a week.
It's amazing.
5 days a week.
It's very healthy.
5 days a week.
It's very healthy.
What's healthy?
Yeah, that's a fair
You're
question.
being vague. What's
A couple.
25
times a week? Come on, you're 40. What are you? 48?
48. What's wrong with you?
How old are you?
I was nice to you today.
No, you wasn't. You
I
motherfucker.
fucking was nice to you. You want to go?
Son of a bitch. Let's go. Just do it.
Not physically. Fucking not
Nah,
stupid.
no, mentally. What the fuck? Of course we got to play it in white games. We got to do it in white. It's white rules.
I say for the honeymoon, you take the belt.
Fuck no.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's how you tell a girl, like, I'm yours forever.
Fuck. I know what comes out of there.
You take the belt.
Are you fucking kidding me, man?
Yes.
He is kidding.
I don't think he is kidding.
He is. He's never taken the belt.
No. Are you talking about a dildo in his butt cheeks, right?
Yeah. First of all, I mean a strap-on.
Strap-on, right?
Not a dildo. What am I, silly?
Jimmy thinks the special belt is perfect for us.
I think that
it says that you are. That's the most fucking.
I'm yours, honey.
Making me sick thing.
It said I'm yours, honey.
You said a lot
Bench.
of things that sicken me, but this one is up there. Is that a woman fucking you in your ass, and that's all they really want to do.
Dude, have you
fuck you in your ass?
Have you ever had the special belt?
Nope. I told you that the closest
Why
I
aren't
came.
you looking at me?
They want to be the fucker.
Oh, please. I'm Nurse Pig in Vegas.
Came close. I know.
Who used to piss in my mouth and spit on me.
But we're off the air. Now tell me the truth.
She took the strap on, and I had no real desire to ever be fucked with a strap
Grease
on.
it up, and you just made a
No.
like a grunting noise.
She looked. There was something bizarrely sexy about her in that because it was so perverse, and because I thought she was so sexy. So she knelt between my legs, and she was slapping my ass with it. And it was so dirty that she was doing this and so inappropriate. I liked it because she was dirty. But then when she pushed it, she tried to push it in and it hurt and I stopped her. Because that's not a desire. It's not a physical feeling that I want. But with her, it was such a perverse, because she was like a golden shower mistress who would also fuck you, which is rare that you get that combo. And literally, she'd be pissing in my mouth, go, that's it, drink your wife's piss. She weren't.
If this is gay, because you know a lot of the mentality behind a lot of feelings. If I watch a thing where a girl straps on, I have never done it, but a girl that straps on fucks another girl, and I go behind the other girl that's fucking that girl and like lick her asshole or lick her pussy.
I don't think any of it's gay because it's all.
That wouldn't be gay.
No.
Why would that be gay?
Well, because there's the idea that she's that like
That she's the guy?
that's a guy. But I'm just replacing, like, you know?
It depends on what your motives are. It's all. If a girl.
Thanks a lot, fellas. All right, good.
You can sleep good. I gotta go.
All right.
I really do. If you
Where
want
you
to come
going?
back tomorrow or you guys want to continue, that's great.
I
got shit to do.
Oh, you're in love with a W.
What's wrong with that?
God. Just tell me how many times a week. Say it.
45.
You doing it a lot?
40.
You're not popping.
40 dust? No.
You're not popping pills, nothing. No. Wow.
It's not even gay if a girl fucks you with a strap on, I don't think, unless that's what you want it to be.
It's gay if a girl puts
you know what?
half a pinky in your ass.
No, that's wrong.
You know what?
It's incorrect.
And we've talked about this a bunch over the years, and we lose the argument every time. These phones will go fucking bananas with guys saying it's absolutely not gay. The finger, the strap-on, the whole fucking thing.
Is it gay because it feels good when you shit? I mean, the asshole feels good when you shit.
Does it really?
Jesus Christ! It's like climbing Everest.
You know what feels good when I shit is if I take one that feels done, like finish out of your colon, like this, I feel healthier.
You know, there's a tapering going on.
That feeling of your asshole.
If you want to give a woman something taboo, like it doesn't mean it's gay. If a woman is strapping on and fucking you, if you really want a guy to fuck you, well, then that's kind of a gay thing.
I gotta go. Fuck.
Can we talk? Look at 10, 15 minutes.
I'll see you at the wedding, man.
Yeah, you guys, you guys continue that. Yeah, you. I don't want to do more. Would be great. Go to 12 today.
No.
Today I learned that there's a replacement racist for the show when Anthony's not there.
A replacement racist.
That's right.
Racist.
I should take that.
That's
as
from
a compliment.
Lithuania. What do they know? Fast Freddy. Today I learned if you want to celebrate MLK Day properly and with respect to the black man, come on out and see Jim Norton live at the Borgata. All right. WebEx.com. Thank you for What Did We Learn? Hold meetings, make presentations, do it from the comfort of your own home or office. Check it out at WebEx.com.
Good day, sir.
Yeah,
Thanks for asking me to come in to replace the lovely Anthony, and I'm sure me and him will talk soon.
It was great.
I'm going to take a piping hot shit.
You need to.
I got a mess.
Your kidneys are bad, motherfucker. You got bad kidney smell down there.
Oh, it's good.
That ain't good, man.
Yeah, it's healthy.
That's from an organ. That ain't just colon stink. That's death.
Yeah. All right.
Sick
you guys want to break and continue?
I don't care.
I'm leaving.
I'll go home. Bail?
I am bailing.
And all this
it's only going to be
replay.
It's only going to be strap-on talk if we stay.
Yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
Congratulations, buddy.
What?
On your wedding.
I'm not married yet.
I mean, congratulations on one day doing it.
What's wrong with getting married?
I'm saying I didn't say nothing was wrong with it. I just said congratulations.
You're married. We're going to talk about that someday.
Theoretically, yeah.
You're married.
I'm married because that bitch ain't going nowhere, and I realize it. If she leaves, my life is over.
Make it official. What the hell?
And do what?
And get married.
I'm going to write her in a will.
All right, so
I want us to have a gay relationship. I don't want that bitch to be able to visit me in the hospital.
Would you give her a kid?
I came in my girl twice. I've only come in a woman 3 times in my whole life.
What?
Dude. Yeah.
I've never. I've only come in a woman 3 times in my whole life.
What you and Ann are doing, you're insane.
I don't always do that. You know, I
look at how beautiful I am. Of course I'm not doing that.
And this is my girl I've been with a long time.
You pull out?
It's the greatest feeling. It's like drugs. Coming inside a vagina.
Oh, but it's fucking...
I scream like a bitch.
Patrice, you got to come back because we'll discuss what these guys do. They're insane.
Like a bitch when I came inside my girl for the first time.
It's amazing.
Are you going to give her a kid or not?
I don't know if my sperm is swimming because the 2 times.
Does she want one from you?
She desperately doesn't want a child.
You know, coming inside
she doesn't want
She already
one.
has a kid.
Coming inside
of want another one?
Yeah, but
from you? Just got to have a little bond?
A little, but I bond with her kid. Like it's weird. I don't know if I need a kid to bond with.
Stop pulling out. Coming inside of a girl.
It's unbelievable.
It feels like this.
Oh my! All right, we're out. Jesus, Aunt will be back tomorrow. 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 Jesus, Aunt will be back tomorrow.
Jesus. Aunt will be back tomorrow. Jesus. Aunt will be back tomorrow. Jesus. Aunt will be back tomorrow. Jesus. Aunt will be back tomorrow.